Hey, you, welcome to Hollywood After Dark, episode number 21 for the 12th of July, 2021. And it's going to be a bit of a spicy episode, as it always is here on HWAD, which is kind of what I'm calling it now, the truncated version of Hollywood After Dark. However, there's a lot to get to, and we're going to be talking about all things Snyderverse and it being over, and Loki, and other stuff right now. Hey everyone, how you guys doing? Welcome to the show. It's been a minute. I took last night off, to be honest with you. I did this just because I needed a day off, and I was out doing deliveries, and I was not very happy with the night in question. It was just kind of a rough night. So I thought, you know what, man? You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go see a movie. And I finally went and saw Black Widow. I got to sit down to my theater. It was like just me and like two other people. And I had a hell of a time. I really liked the movie. I had a hell of a good time, I should say. I really enjoyed the film. Was it worth the wait? I don't know how much I'd say it's worth the wait, but it was definitely fun to get to. And it was something awesome to see in theaters as opposed to just watching it at home. But I also do have the movie at home, which I will be watching it again. And I should probably do a review. Maybe I'll just do a long form spoiler discussion with RJ if he wants to do it, because him and I were discussing it last night after I got home from the movie. So with that, let me just check in with you guys here to see how what's going on with everyone here. Anthony Chabot asking, how are you? I'm fine. Today's been a pretty decent day. Hung out with my kids, all good. Butt Toucher here says, I'm so stressed, I can't sleep. I really needed this to take my mind off of things. Well, I have been told that my voice makes people fall asleep. I've been told this multiple times, but it's always from the perspective of being a good thing, which I'm not entirely too sure how that works. You know what I mean? When someone says to you, man, I love your voice, it puts me to sleep. I'm like, say what? What do you mean? Like, I'm trying to be like energetic and entertaining, and you're like, nah, man, it puts it's a weird thing, but it's not a negative. H-Bart's here asking, putting out Jat Marbo. Yeah. There we go. Music Man says, hey everyone, how you doing, Music Man? Jacob McKenzie says, what's up, man? Doing pretty good. Let's see. You Do Suck says, Jarbo was right. Someone tell Enosh it's over. Oh, I wish. Jess here says, welcome to Club Hollywood After Dark. Yeah, I need to think of like a name for this, right? Like HWADies, which just sounds kind of very weird to say. I was watching a video today about like, you know, tips to like better formulate or form a community here on YouTube. And they were like, name your group, like name your community, like give it a cute little nickname. And I'm all like, what do you call a bunch of film buffs that hang out for a late night movie themed talk show where literally half the time it just derides into cum jokes? You know, I call you all cummies. Welcome to the show, cummies. No, that doesn't really fly. Like, not at all. But it is what it is there. Anyway, let's see here. Was there H-Bart's here? $2 super chat. Thank you. Saw yours and Enosh's back and forth. Yep. Yeah, that was weird. I don't know, man. I love Enosh. He knows I love him. It's such a weird conversation to have because I'm like very much like, here are my thoughts on why I feel this way. And then it's met with, here's an entirely different train of thought that doesn't connect to what you were saying, but I'm going to speak with them with passion. And therefore it doesn't do anything. Because it's not a debate to have. It's just not a debate to have. And that's unfortunate, but it is that one. All right, you hold on here. Let's see here. Your voice gets me rock hard. Thank you, sir. Real quick, is the backdrop to this, is it now light gray to anyone else, or is it just me? I don't know why the background now is lighter gray. I'm not necessarily a big fan of that. But anyway, Music Man here says, I'll be doing what you did yesterday tomorrow night. Oh, cool. You're going to go see it? Nice, man. Nice. If I have time, I'm going to try to go see Fast and Furious this week. But I really enjoyed seeing Black Widow in theaters. Dylan here says Black Widow was pretty boring. I don't understand how you thought it was boring. I mean, The movie, like, yeah, there were some moments where it slowed down and there was dialogue-y parts, but the dialogue-y parts were pretty cool. And I enjoyed that dialogue stuff. I don't know why people freak out about characters talking to one another. You know, this is the thing. This is why I think that as much as I like am a connoisseur of pornography, why I think pornography has ultimately ruined people. All right. Because they're never in it for the story anymore. You know, when you watch softcore porn is about the story. You get a movie intermixed with the non-penetration sex scenes, right? You get some of that kind of stuff. But when you watch a full, like nowadays it's not even a story. There used to be movies that had like full plots and full, you know, first, second, third acts, and all these things happened, and you would like get a porn and you would watch it for not only the erotica, but the story. And then now it's like all of these individual clips, and all of them, it's like they get into it within the first like 30 seconds. It's like knock, knock, knock. What's going on? I'm a pizza delivery boy, and I'm here to give you a pizza. And the lady's like, oh my gosh, does it have sausage? I love extra thick sausage. Just give it to me, daddy. It's in like 30 seconds, man. This is one of the reasons why I think when people have sex, it's like there's the foreplay. Fucking dialogue scenes in a movie are foreplay. All right. Like, you know, we joked about Batman eating pussy. All right. We all talked about that. Heroes eat pussy. Yeah, fuck right. Heroes eat pussy. But heroes also fucking talk to one another. Okay. Talking to one another is like the eating pussy of a fucking comic book movie. Okay. It's what happens in between the penetration. Like, you want Batman to go down on Catwoman, to have an interesting conversation, to get more about the character. All right. Like, if you think about it for a second, when you're sitting there and you're watching him muff dive a woman's cave, he's going fucking tongue spelunking. You kind of want him to explore as much as he possibly can, because at that point you're getting all of the ancillary information that will help form a deeper connection to what you are watching. Oral copulation is very much an intimate act, and it's part of the intimate experience, and it is showing a connection between the people. What I'm trying to say here is watch more porn with story. Is what I'm trying to say. I really do feel like that is one of my better rants on it, but I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong on that one at all. I'm not wrong. 100% I'm right. You know, having conversations like this is the thing. Everyone getting mad about Loki. All right, we'll start off talking about Loki. How about that shit? We'll talk about Loki first. All right. All I'm saying here is, you know, you watch Loki and people were upset that him and Sylvie were talking. They're literally upset that him and Sylvie were talking. Like, oh my God, Sylvie and Loki are having a conversation. Why doesn't things go boom, boom? You know, I can't handle it if things don't go boom, boom. You know, and then it's like, no, but the conversation is where the character development is. That's where the character development is. That's where the intimacy happens. And the conversations between, Natasha and Yelena in Black Widow were really good. I thought that was really interesting how Yelena was very jaded and cynical and like was calling out her older sister constantly. I thought that was fantastic. And she took no shit. And she was a really good character. And it's like having those conversations are fantastic, right? Like, though I don't want to give a spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen it, but the conversation that happens in the helicopter right after the thing was so fucking funny because it was just like out of the blue, what? And then their response was just amazing. And I thought that conversation was great and perfectly performed by Florence Pugh. That's what I'm talking about here. Not everything needs to be boom, boom in your face. Okay. You don't need to like watch, money shots are great. Money shots cap off the end of the action. All right. But if you watched an entire hour and a half long movie that was nothing but just coming on a woman's chest or mouth or hair or face or eyes or whatever they're into, it's just going to be something that ultimately you get old. It gets old after a while. You've got to build up to these things, right? You've got to build up to the money shot. That's why the money shot is so freaking important, because the money shot indicates that everything else was worth it to see. You want to see someone come on somebody else. That's the money shot. So there's that. Why wasn't I on last night? Because I went and saw a movie, Anthony. Because I've been on for almost 2 weeks straight every night. I needed to go see a movie. I needed a little me time. I'm sorry there, buddy. I know you want to talk. I know you want to call in. I appreciate that, but I gotta take a night for me. Let's see. People need to be patient with their movies and TV shows. 100%. 100%. Dylan here says, "Damn, Matt, you're pretty passionate. I like good storytelling. And I like good dialogue. All right. I'm a massive Downton Abbey fan. All right. Downton Abbey was a 6-season, 1 movie, soon to be 2 movies because they're shooting it right now. Comes out next year. Yeah. British soap opera about lords and ladies and the servants that serve them. And it was it's a great show. The dialogue is excellent. The characters are excellent. The acting is excellent. Like there's an episode where a character gets sexually assaulted, and I got physically mad when that happened. Like, that is how much I care about these characters. Like, I got physically mad that this character I like got hurt. Like, and that's all action. It's all dialogue. It's all well written, and it's amazing. And Downton Abbey is the utter shit. I love Downton Abbey. That's my whole point here. When you watch something like Downton Abbey, you get nothing but dialogue. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all character. It's all exposition. Life is not everything in life is about boom, boom, nut on her face. All right. Anyway, here, let me get to some super chats. I totally forgot. All right. Carlos Maldonado. Thank you, Carlos. Says, how long before we get a new cast of Justice League actors on screen? 2,999. Give it 10 years. We'll get a new Justice League in like 10 years. They're gonna hold off a little bit because of this. They should. I think if anything, they might do like the multiverse Justice League in the next 5 to 6 years. They're going to probably try to get to it. But if that's what J.J. Abrams is developing, he's only on a 5-year deal with Warner Brothers. So he's got to develop it quick, and he's got to get it out the door quick. But with what they have going on right now, the fact is the DCEU is non-existent. All right. It's just absolutely non-existent at this point. Let me explain. You know, we'll do this first before we go into the Loki thing. Let me explain why the DCEU is non-existent. And I'll give you a perfect example right off the bat. And that is this right here. You go over to HBOmax.com, right? Go to HBOmax.com. You type in DCEU. And you know what you get? You get nothing. There is literally nothing that's there, right? Nothing that you see. And so then it's like, okay, well, wait a minute. That was there last year when they first launched HBO Max. They had an entire section dedicated to the DCEU. In fact, so many fans were very happy that the DCEU was officially recognized within HBO Max. We know all that. Well, now you come back and you look at it, you bring it up now, and this is what you get. So this is the DC section of this, and you can scroll through like, okay, there's Batman Hush, there's The Dark Knight, there's Batwoman, Harley Quinn, there's a ton of stuff to watch here. A lot of it's great. Mayhem and Gotham. All right. Oh, hey, look, they're doing a whole section dedicated to Matt Ryan as Constantine. Never mind, they're going to recast him for upcoming live action things. You get, choose a side. Will you fight with heroes or move towards the dark side? Because, hey, why not have a subtle Star Wars reference? Here's BVS Ultimate Edition. That's cool. Oh, look. Suicide Squad all the way over here. Where's Justice League, right? Where's all this other stuff? There's 2 live action and 3 live action with Birds of Prey. All right. Gotham City Sirens, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman are taking over, and they have Harley Quinn show, the Catwoman movie, and Birds of Prey. These 2 things right here should not be anywhere in this lineup. The Harley Quinn animated show should literally be the entire lineup because that show is amazing. And you got Misfits and Mavericks. Oh, slow down. Here we go. Oh, another thing about Justice League Dark with showing off Constantine that they're already going to recast. Here's Batman the Animated Series. Here's Good Gone Bad. Other elements, right? Started off with The Losers, which is sure, that's a Vertigo comic, which is part of DC, but it's not DCEU. Covert Operations. Get to the bottom here. Watch with the family, all that stuff. They do not have the DCEU anymore on display on HBO Max. They just don't have it. And how many times in these lists are you seeing Justice League? Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let's scroll through just right here in the front. Let's scroll through right here on the front. I'm not seeing it at all. I don't even see Man of Steel. Hey, top movies and series. Joker, Watchmen, right? There's Suicide Squad, right? Where's top movies and series. Oh, no, okay. And then also here, the DC Universe, not the DCEU. Warner Brothers is doing everything it can to fundamentally remove any mention, any reference of the DCEU. This is now flat out undeniable. And this is why I'm having, like, when I talk about things, You know, when I talk about these situations, when I talk about what's going on, people get mad at me. I understand that. People get mad at me because I'm not, I'm not sitting there and giving in to the concept of that everybody wants, which is for the Snyderverse to continue. Which, hey, listen, I want it to continue, but I also understand reality. I also can pay attention to what's happening around me. I do my research, I listen, and I can formulate an opinion based upon what is publicly made available. Like, for example, yesterday I put up this video talking about the Dreamscape of Justice League motion comic and will Warner Brothers kill it? You know, and look, the thing is, I don't trust Lightcast Matthew Miranda, the guy who's behind it. I make that abundantly clear in the video. I want to see what they come up with this project, but to be fair, anything could happen and Warner Brothers could come in at any point in time and kill it. It doesn't matter that it's raising money for AFSP. It doesn't matter one bit. That is not an argument. That is not a legal argument because Warner Brothers is the intellectual property rights holder and they can do with it what they please. That's the truth. That is reality. That is not fiction. That is not fake. That is not make-believe. This is reality. For some reason, it's very lost on some people. And then today, Margot Robbie giving some interviews about Suicide Squad, and she just lets slip the quiet part. Says it right out loud. It says here, each movie is its own thing that works in comics and that works in DC film world as well. It's not like Marvel where everything is linked in a more linear way. It feels like there's adjacent films happening at the same time, like with the comics. So she understands here that the DCEU doesn't exist anymore. It was originally meant to be a linear thing. It was originally meant to be interconnected. But then again, as Warner Brothers freaked out because of everything, never mind Suicide Squad earning a buttload of money, they have decided that they wanted to go a different direction. Margot Robbie, who was a producer on Birds of Prey and a very big Harley Quinn fan, flat out is saying that no, they don't want to continue. They're not continuing the DCEU. And what does that mean? That ultimately, I'm sorry, that means the Snyderverse. Because the Snyderverse is what started the DCEU. The Snyderverse isn't even really available on the HBO Max DC page, as I just showed you guys. What was the only Zack Snyder directed film we saw up there? Well, there was two. There was Watchmen and there was BVS Ultimate Edition. Other than that, they were hiding Justice League. They were hiding Man of Steel. They don't want people, they want to move on past this. And that's the whole point. That is the whole shebang, is they want to move on. And yet some people out there really do not want to let that go. And it's sad. It's tragic. It's absolutely tragic because so many people are just like, they're getting mad and they're getting frustrated and they're getting upset at all of these things because they want to believe, they have faith, Alfred, faith. But you got to read the room. You got to read what's happening. And you got to read what Warner Brothers has said, what Zack Snyder has said, what other people in the DCEU have said, all of this stuff. It's as tragic as it is. It's as plain as day at this point. And I know I'm going to bring on my friend here, and I know he's going to disagree. It's also really late where he's at, so I'm surprised. Mad Max the Mandalorian, how's it going?
What the? Hey, Matt, I missed you, man. But
hey,
what the hell? I tried to check the internet just before I just woke up from a nap, like taking care of the dogs to go back to sleep for work. I'm still recovering from my weekend. And Matt Jarbo's making another Snyder versus Dead video. Oh my god.
Yep.
I get it, man. I get it.
Did you watch? But did you watch what I actually showcased?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I'm coming in fresh.
You're coming in fresh. I know. Now, here's the thing.
Oh God.
Here's the thing, Max.
Go to your channel to thumbs up, and then I was like, oh, come on, Matt.
I'm just saying. No.
I know you have proof. I know there's something going on.
You know that I will always provide as much evidence as I can.
I know. Right? Hi everyone. Hi Ray. Hi everyone in the chat.
So yeah. So there's that. All right. But my whole point though is that even on HBOMax.com, on their DC section, the only movie that you see really from Snyder that's DCEU related is BVS Ultimate Edition.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
on the scrolling now, to be fair, on the scrolling thing up here, you can see Snyder, right? The Snyder cut. And that's like, the only one from him that's up there. So that's cool. But otherwise, you don't see it up here. Here's Mayhem in Gotham.
I mean, it's
Right.
the momentum is definitely with the Netflix. I haven't even followed Movie Talk for like a week because I've just been Amico'd out.
Yeah, I know you've been out there. You've been out there playing the Amico, like Access
you're all
Media.
gonna get it. I'm not in no show.
You're all Access Media, Max.
No,
Maxess Media. That's what I'm going to call you now.
No,
Maxess Media.
I was just happy to play. It's really. I think everyone's gonna get it. My friends that I talk to online. I think you're gonna get it, Matt. After I played it, like if you like having friends over, especially like having some beers, and it's like great to compete. But that's a different subject.
Dude, I have children. I don't have friends.
Well, I mean, children are good. All the kids loved it.
Yeah, look, here's the thing. When they get, maybe I have a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old. So maybe when they get older,
no one would pass the control. That was the biggest problem of the weekend is like getting time. Everyone just kept playing.
I'll check it out when I can check it out, but I don't want to derail what's going on right now.
All right. Sorry.
So no. Check out. Yeah. Check out Max's content on the Amico. I watched your stream about your disappointments and you being a schlub off in a corner.
I was being real. I'm not afraid to criticize myself. You have this you've been the YouTube events. You like have you're also perception of yourself. I was like, I'm going to come in with my masks. I'm going to be real. It's going to be a lot. I was going to be like, I'm not a popular guy in real life. I'm pretty much the freak in the corner. That's why I like masks too. I was like, I'm going to be pretty cool at this party with my mask and stuff. And then the reality is I get there and I'm like, I feel really weird putting a mask on. There's a bunch of dudes around in my friend's house with his family. And then it was really hot and sweaty. And I was like, man. And then I saw an image of me in the live stream in the corner with just my mask and a t-shirt. I was like, this is very disappointing. Plus my friend is jacked, retro bro. I look, he's wearing a Miko tank top all ripped. And I have actual gamer noodle arms. I was like, oh man, this sucks. Look at myself compared to
I totally get that. So anyway,
sorry.
No,
I do derail things when
I get it. You got to go get those noodle arms under control, man. I understand.
Right.
So there we go on that. But anyway, so the reason why the thing is now today, for example, like Margot Robbie brought up this whole thing about how each movie is its own thing and it's not connected. Mm-hmm. And Warner's has been trying that for years. They've been trying that.
It's failed.
Let me see if I can find the image here. So they did this a couple years ago at Comic-Con, and they wanted, because remember it wasn't until AT&T purchased the company that they formally commented on the DCEU. Right? It wasn't until then that they said that, and they said that even. Oh, what the fuck? Stupid Windows Chrome. Or he's like, yeah. Anyway, sorry. I was like trying to download this image and it was all being a dick. But they didn't formally announce anything or confirm anything until Jim Lee said something in March of last year at the Chicago Comic-Con, whatever it was, right? First time an executive of Warner's and DC Comics had said DCEU. But before that, they had actually tried to do this over at Comic-Con. This is actually from Comic-Con. I was in the room when this was taken. And this is what they branded it. This is back in 2018. They branded it the Worlds of DC. And everyone in that room, when they pulled back that thing and they showed that, because that's, by the way, that's the side wall. That's not like the front of the convention hall. That's like the side wall. So it's very big. And even everyone in the room, everyone in my group was looking around and they're like, what the fuck? What is the Worlds of DC? What does this mean? Where like, isn't it the DCEU? So there's been so much brand confusion that has been happening. There's been so much brand confusion that has been happening over the years that they honestly, at this point in time, they don't have anything. Like, they just don't know what they're doing, and they're doing everything they can to make it nothing that's connected. We know this at this point. We know that they want it over with, and they're moving on. And like I said, it's either I think if anything that The Rock could be the one that connects it, the Johnson verse, really. But what we know from Snyder is that he's done. Margot and the movies aren't connected. So
well,
you know
the best shot we have is, and I saw that Snyderverse fans are freaking out about this motion comic that Light Cast is. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't care. Like, look,
here's what I was gonna say though. The best, let them do their motion comic, and then the fans could do edit scenes, and then eventually we could do our own sequel. There's enough talent. They'll figure something out where it won't be as the same, but
there's legalities though, Max. There's legalities with that
film.
There's legalities with fan films.
Yeah, I know.
Right. And so that's the whole thing here. There's a bunch of legalities. There's a bunch of things like that. And like I said, and I'll bring him in here in a second because it's going to get heated, very heated.
Well, I still don't necessarily think it's over, but it's not going forward.
Well, here's the thing.
But all the forward momentum is with Snyder and Netflix. That's what I'll say. Because
on Snyder's front, yes, that is
because I heard about a potential like sci-fi movie he might be working on with Netflix, and I'm like, okay. And you know what? I want to see the Justice League sequel by Zack Snyder, but I kind of want to see something fresh, more almost like sci-fi, Star Wars type movie from Zack. I don't know if it's going to be Star Wars type movie, but that's what I would want to see, or whatever else he wants to do. That like kind of lit my fire more than another article that says, "Oh yeah, the Snyderverse is going to continue." Yes, I want it to continue, but I'm just getting tired of talking about it.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, no, that's true, and like,
it still could happen, but
here, this is kind of because someone else had brought this up. I saw someone mention this real quick. This is what HBO Max looked like a year ago, right? So they had the DCEU extended universe. This was from day one launch of HBO Max, and it's not there anymore. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, they're also starting the like this pseudo behind the scenes like pictures of The Rock and Shazam, so they're trying to focus that on the Flash and Black Adam. So they might be doing this just like to move the focus away, see how that goes. They might just wait to see how the Flash and Black Adam land.
The Flash and Black Adam are going to probably do okay.
Yeah,
they're probably going to do okay. I don't think Black Adam's going to cross $1 billion. I'm sorry.
I think it
I don't think it will. I think nothing The Rock has done, nothing The Rock has led has crossed $1 billion. That was not an ensemble film. He was in Fast and Furious 7 and Fast and Furious 8, albeit for like 5 minutes in Fast and Furious 8. And then, or 7, sorry.
Here's the image I see. It looks amazing.
Oh no, this looks pretty cool. I saw this today too. Yeah, Back Adam, right? Back Adam's a great line there.
Here's the other one. Sorry. They also they made it more realistic. His suit.
No, they did do that. Yeah. And he's not padded this time.
Oh, he's not. Yeah.
No, look at him. He got actually pretty jacked for that.
Oh, okay.
So that's I like the new. I like the new suit. I'm not saying the movies are going to be bad. I'm just saying it's like you can look at the idea of it and just go like they're moving away.
I'm just not reading into it as much as you are. I don't think they have a plan to actually cut it off and withdraw all the products from HBO Max for Zach.
They're not withdrawing the product. What I'm saying is they're not promoting it as being a universe.
No,
when a year ago, I just said a year ago, this was on there. When they first launched HBO Max, when they were pushing the Snyder Cut, this was the whole point. This was the whole thing, is that it was meant to be the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe. That was their marketing push, which at this point was a lie. So, okay. Well, I saw Enoch was back there,
but I also think you're thinking too much into it. There's still kind of.
But Matt, this is the thing. This is my argument. All right. I'm like, this is what has been said publicly. This is what has been reiterated publicly by multiple parties. This is what has been, talked about. This you can see where things are going. There's all of these things that I keep mentioning. Mm-hmm. And then it ends up like moving away. And then it's like, well, you're overthinking it. That's not an argument. I'm putting in the research work on this.
No, you're doing research.
You know, I'm putting in the
I
research
think
work on
you're.
this.
I think you're trying just as my hot take on you is you're trying just as hard to figure this out as the Snyderverse fans are looking into stuff to say it's continuing.
I know, because this is the thing though. This is the thing.
Chat, am I right? Am I right?
Here's the thing with that though. Because
I like HBO Max, but I don't really think they have any plans still except new content, and they remove stuff and add stuff all the time. And I do know, like that page you showed with the Suicide Squad, they want to get ready for the Suicide Squad. But
sure, and I get that, but still, like I'm not finding Man of Steel in any of these lists. Although I think Man of Steel might not even be on HBO Max right now. They're losing so much stuff. It is.
Well, they take it away and then they add it. Oh, mistake. So the only one's not there is which one? Is Justice League still there?
No, it's in the featured, but it's in none of these collections. Is what I'm talking about. Why isn't there?
They shuffle it around.
Why isn't there a DCEU page here? You know what I mean? Like, why isn't like even
because they're filming stuff that they're trying to say it's different. That's all.
What?
They're not
top
saying
rated
DC.
Top rated movies and series, and Justice League isn't even on here.
Okay.
Top rated. First thing you see is fucking Batwoman.
Well, show that. Can you show it again?
Oh, sorry. I thought I had it up.
Here.
All right, there we go. I know Enosh is in the tub.
Ooh.
Hey, a hot tub is always a good thing.
Hot tub?
Yeah. Anyway, look at this here. This is top movies and series. All right.
Okay.
Batwoman, Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn needs to be on here 100%. Doom Patrol is good. And then it's all these animated movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you got Joker, and then you got Watchmen the show and Watchmen the movie, then Suicide Squad. And then you got Stargirl. And they don't even have there's not even Wonder Woman 84 or Wonder Woman. There's just like.
Is it Wonder Woman 84 still on there?
Yeah, Wonder Woman 84 just came back.
You're literally overthinking a playlist.
See,
I'm just saying you're doing as much stretching as
I'm not. No, this isn't stretching.
That says, oh, it's going to definitely continue. If the list, so if they did this list and it was all Zack Snyder stuff at the top, be like, see, they really want to continue the Snyder. I don't think it means any. Wow, Enosh, I need to visit you in that hot tub. I'm going to bring in Amiko. Ooh. All right. Monday night is a hot tub night? Wow, that is the lounge.
Just saying.
Wasn't it like 2:30 in the morning?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Looking nice.
Anyway, hold on. I do want to. There are some real quick. I do want to get to some super chats because before things go any further.
Well, I mean the chat. I want to hear what the chat is.
Yeah. Well, I still need to play catch up. So hold on. We spent a lot of time talking about your Amiko. Anyway.
You're all going to get one.
Orlando, come out of hiding. I see you at Station 3 watching Matt. Yeah, Orlando, come out of hiding. Hold on here. Okay.
I'm just trying to check Twitter and stuff before I go to bed, and I was drawn in by Matt's clickbait that says it's over again. I'm getting sick of you, Matt, just as much as the Snyderverse fans. Like, oh, look at this little image here.
Oh yeah, because anytime you say anything about hey, listen,
it could continue, but the momentum is definitely towards Zach and Netflix properties, which is fair enough, and I'm excited for that. But it doesn't mean it's not, and I think you're reading too much into a playlist where they don't have any plan.
I think you're not reading into it enough. I think you're just you're sitting back and you're just fingers crossed. Well,
these playlists. You'd really have to know all the details of these playlists. Does it have every single title?
Hold on.
Sorry, Enosh. Go ahead.
I said, you mean fingers crossed like Zack Snyder?
What? Fingers crossed about what with Zack Snyder? About coming back?
No. Do you don't remember the famous thing that he said? This is the new symbol for the movement.
No.
Okay. Do your research.
Oh.
That's what fingers crossed on it coming back.
He said this months ago that his fingers were crossed on what happened.
So wait, hold on. Let me just thank you, Carlos.
Going around for months. It happened. It happened.
Wait.
It happened at.
Okay. I know. I believe you. I believe you that it happened, Enosh. I do. I believe you. But what you're saying is this is months ago. So are we saying this is before the movie came out?
Well, this was Justice Con, so the movie had already come out.
Okay, so this is Justice Con. This is like a month after the movie had come out.
Try to spin that too, that because he said fingers crossed that it's somehow a bad thing.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like, but again, what has he said since then? Warner's won't talk to me. Warner's hasn't given me anything.
See on Twitter that we should watch real quick. It's just
what he said was when asked specifically, would you come back? He said, yes. He said, I would.
Sure. Yeah, I know he would. At no point am I saying he wouldn't come back. At no point am I saying that. This is the whole argument. What I'm not talking about Zach. I'm talking about the company.
I know. And then he continued on from that statement, and he said, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens maybe with Discovery. And he said that. See what happens with Discovery. Wait and see. And in the meantime, I'm going to do my other stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean it's dead.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Zach, look, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Zaslav is solid friends with John Stanky.
That means it's dead.
Stanky, look, they're going to be looking for like what is going to be the most
Stanky. You're Stanky, Matt. You're real Stanky.
Max.
With this hot take.
No, I'm saying, how did the Discovery Warner Brothers merger happen? Via text message is how the conversation started. Because this David Zaslav and John Stanky were chit-chatting via text one night, 2-hour conversation on the phone later, this like $100 billion merger is happening. Okay. And so obviously with Discovery wanting to move into different territories, they're also going to want to maximize as much as they possibly can. And they're going to start cutting back on things that are very expensive, because that's always what happens in these mergers is they're going to cut back on what's the most expensive and they're going to focus on what's the cheapest and most profitable. And guess what Discovery can do? Cheap and profitable.
And why was one of the first things that they said was that they were going to spend more than any other streaming service?
Because they're not. But I mean, he can make that comment. He can make that claim. Disney's already putting up $30 billion.
Hold on. You're the one going by things that were said.
And yeah, he can sit there and say $20 billion. He can sit there and say $20 billion on original content.
You're just going to ignore that. A big
No, I'm not. I'm saying that he's been outbid is what I'm saying.
I don't understand that argument. I don't understand the argument when the guy says we're going to spend $20 billion plus on new content because we want to make this thing the biggest piece of media centered streaming service, whatever company that's ever been. And that was that was Zaslav's exact comment. Okay?
Yeah, I'm sure. I remember him saying the $20 billion.
That doesn't what you want.
But the thing is though, look at the other content that they produce. They don't produce unless here's the thing. I'll tell you this.
It's going to be different.
I'm telling you, listen. Like Toby Emmerich isn't going anywhere.
TV.
Wait, sorry. Say that again. You broke up a little bit.
Oh, sorry. I know I'm outside. I apologize. If I sound like I'm cutting you off, I'm not, because I know we had a little back and forth on Twitter earlier, but I wasn't even mad at you. Like if you had heard me, we were just talking. But what I wanted to say was, they're not going to spend $20 billion on just reality TV. They want to put that into originals for HBO Max. And they said that we want to put stuff into originals for HBO Max. We're gonna highlight our programming all the way across the board. We're gonna grow new programming and really be the strongest force in this. They have a goal. So like
they do.
When they literally call out Netflix, who had spent $17 billion, and say we're gonna spend $20 billion and outdo them. Well, they've thrown down the gauntlet now. Now, look, if they don't do it, then that's on them. But if we're just going by what is said, that's a pretty strong thing to say if you don't plan on following it up with anything.
Well, and then Disney recently came out and said $30 billion. That's the whole other, like Disney threw down the gauntlet on their gauntlet throw.
Or make it into a series either.
So, but you have to think of it like this, though. They have a wide variety of content that they're going to end up putting money into.
Sure.
Obviously, getting back some of the filmmakers that have felt aggrieved by this HBO Max same day deal is going to be the bigger thing, like Nolan. Yep. That's a big factor on that one.
Yep.
And then Patty Jenkins for Wonder Woman 3 and things like that.
Well, for Wonder Woman 3, who is Nolan's friend? Who's good friends with Nolan?
I know Zach is Nolan's friend. Yeah.
I don't think Nolan's worried about Zach at all, though. You know he's his friend, but I don't think he's worried about it continuing. Honestly, I don't think he's opposed to it, but I don't think it has any. I mean, that's
here's the biggest thing with it, though. The biggest thing you got to consider here is that, Discovery Zaslav is going to want to be going across the board, but the tides are shifting in regards to the content that does well on streaming. Disney is able to knock out Marvel content very well because they've been very much the first half of the year was front loaded after a whole year of nothing.
Sure.
So that a lot of success there, and a lot of people are growing with it on the week to week basis. Never mind, Black Widow having done exceptionally well because of loyalty, because there's consistency within the brand. DC as a whole, their films division is in shambles. No one knows what's happening. No one. Well,
they are filming a few properties.
They
right
are
now.
doing,
I know, and they're focusing on Pattinson. Yeah, I know. And that's why the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises are out there.
Matt,
yes.
Matt, the only thing I take that I ever take question with you with the way that you're saying it. No, I'm not arguing the fact that he was wronged. He's moved on as far as like he's doing other projects right now. He's working. He's not going to sit around and wait for this to happen. But what I do take issue with is that, because the thing is that he has said that he wants to do it. When you make things and you say things about like he's out, he doesn't want to do it, you guys are forcing him to do it.
I'm not.
No, I'm saying, I haven't said he doesn't want to do it, but I stand by my comment about people forcing him to do it. I stand by my comment on that 110%.
Being supportive.
No. Hold on. There's a difference. There's a difference in being supportive. There's a difference in being supportive, and that's all you want out of him.
No,
because
because when the real films promote all his stuff. Yeah.
The thing is the real fans, but every time he goes on to a live stream, it's always like, hey, so what's going on with Justice League 2?
Of course. So, it's fun.
But it's like, but don't you think, is it fun to get the same answer? Is it fun to not listen to what he said before and waste his time? Is it fun to constantly go after him over that stuff? No, that's all. It's all it is. It's all it is. It's all these people want. That's all these people want, is just, I want more. I want more. I want more. And it's like, look, at some point, read the room. Pay attention.
That's not true.
Oh my. Yeah. And look, dude, in your circle, I don't know if we see the same things on Twitter. Most of
the fans fully support what he does outside of Justice League, because they support Zack Snyder. Hold on. Let me finish. They support everything that he's doing. So yes, when he goes on a stream, you know why they're going to always ask? Because people always asked until one person asked during that stream for Man of Steel, and there it was. Okay? She was not even scheduled to ask that question. Okay? Because I often wondered, well, obviously that was a plant, right? You get down to the end of the thing, whatever, and you plant that, and you go forward. That's not what happened. She got ahead of it and asked the question, and so they used it as a chance to announce it. So when you have a man who has the story, he knows what he wants to do. We know what they're facing. We know the possibilities. We know the things that say that from the outside it may not happen. We know that. But in the meantime, yes, if he goes on a stream, people are still going to ask about Justice League to some point, but they're also just as excited in asking about Army of the Dead. They're just as excited and they're asking about Rebel Moon now. They're asking about the other project that he has, what's going on with the prequel, even though he's not even directing the prequel. He's producing it, so they want to know. People want to know what's going on with Army of Thieves, right? They want to know what's going on with the cartoon because he's producing that and he's working on that.
And Zach likes it. Like remember when he said, "I like to tease," and people took that the wrong way. He likes the little teasing.
The fans know that. So you are never going to get a time where somebody doesn't ask him about it, because people asked him about it for 3.5 years.
The rest of his life, he'll ask,
Every time somebody would ask him, sometimes he wouldn't say anything, and then sometimes he would drop a little nugget that would keep people talking about it for a few weeks, months, whatever, until he dropped another little nugget and another nugget and another nugget, and then one day we woke up and we had the Snyder Cut coming.
A lot of nuggets
coming.
That wasn't just a one-day thing. There was a lot of chatter building up to that. Dude, the story had even broke about the announcement 2 days prior to when it came out.
Dude, I'm very much aware, okay? But I'm telling you, we went. I didn't say it happened in 24 hours. Don't take what I'm saying like that. I'm saying we asked for 3 years, and then one day the question was asked, and the answer was yes. Yes, it took a while to get there. Yes, there was some who knew it was coming. It was a rumor that it was going to get announced. But the reality was that question was asked at that specific time, where it had been asked for several months, years even, and the answer was no. There's nothing going. Warner Brothers doesn't want to do it. Warner Brothers doesn't believe in it. Warner Brothers doesn't agree that it exists. and then he would drop a nugget about something. And that's exactly what he's doing here. He has dropped nugget after nugget after nugget. He has kept his people on the watch for something. And that's all I'm saying. It's something. But like if somebody likes it, you can't say that they're not supporting his other stuff, because they absolutely are supporting his other stuff.
I'm not saying they're not supporting the other stuff. What I'm saying here is that they won't let the man move on.
Yeah,
they won't let him move on. Let him move on.
Yeah,
let him move on.
He doesn't want to.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does, dude. Because he said,
I think he likes the poking and
he likes the attention. He likes the attention, but he's also said multiple times he'll never say no to a paying customer.
That doesn't mean anything. He's the one keeping it alive.
You're creating a problem that he's not upset with.
No,
Matt.
I'm saying as fans, we need to let him move on with his life.
Based on your comment there, are you trying to say by him saying that he won't say no to a paying customer means that he will lie to people and give people hope in something that's not there?
Yes.
Just because they've paid him in the past.
Yes.
And they might buy something else from him.
Yes.
And what reasoning would he have to do that?
Because he doesn't want to let anybody down.
Oh, come on.
No, I'm serious, man. Listen, this is the thing. This is the thing that people don't.
Hi, RJ.
Again, people tend. Hey, what's going on, RJ? That people tend to forget about this, and they tend to forget that when it came to this movie, it was already shot. Anything else is going to be.
You're making Enosh hotter than the hot tub. I see steam.
That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I'm saying is that in this process, things were already made. Like the Ayer cut has the best chance of coming out. Because the Ayer cut has been already shot. They just need to finish it, and they should release it. Release the Schumacher cut. Things that are already done that require minimal financial investment. By all means, like put the content out and reap the benefits. But everything else is like, if you look at the people who are in charge, and I said this even on my stream the other night, Toby Emmerich ain't going anywhere. Okay. Toby is not leaving Warner Brothers because he's got He's got nowhere else to go. He can't go up anywhere. He can't go up anywhere. And Zaslav in this whole ordeal, this whole merger, they're going to need to have someone that they know that can navigate this merger and merging over with Warner Brothers Pictures. And so that's going to be Toby Emmerich. They're not going to let him go. He's going to get 3 more years, which means Hamada's going to stay. And all of that's going to go. And then eventually, guess what? Zach's going to hit.
You don't know that
60 in what, 5 years? He'll be 60. He'll be doing other things. Ben's going to get up there, not going to be able to.
Don't assume things you don't know either.
I'm not assuming. This is not an assumption. This is okay. This is an assumption.
He's not going to do that. He's not. You just don't know.
It's not going to be
that are getting older. Yes. Yeah,
I'm telling you. I'm telling you
all this other stuff, but you just don't know.
I'm telling you. No, but Matt, it's not that I don't know. It's that you're also unwilling to look at what is presented.
I'm willing to look.
No, because every time you're like, no. And you push back on it.
Videos, but it's
give me an argument then. Give me an argument that's not just, you don't know. Give me an argument.
I say everything is up in the air except it's filming already.
That it's not just your opinion is ridiculous because you have no firsthand knowledge.
And you claim to all the time.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have. You've said you don't know what I know. God. You've said it to me multiple times, and I've asked you to tell me privately what that is, and you've refused.
Enosh said he wanted to chill talk to his friend. That's all. He didn't want this.
Matt, I told you that I knew something else a while ago. You're the one who keeps insinuating that I know something about this or that I know something, and you keep saying it, trying to get me to say something. But there is nothing to say because the man has already said what I knew back then. So then
why on this? But you brought that up within this conversation, within the bounds of this about the continuing of it over there. That's what you brought it up as. So if it's already been said, then it's already out there. So then just say what it is. But you have framed it like you have this behind the scenes intel.
I have never framed anything like that.
Yes, you absolutely have. Yes, you have.
No, I have. You
have. Yes, you have.
No, I have.
And that's why I've asked you multiple times. I only ask you when you bring it up like that. You have.
No.
Oh my God!
I will have to go.
I woke up my wife yelling.
Said that over and over and over.
All right, hold on.
Super huge that blows the whole lid off. I never said that.
I never said you did. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's big or if it's small. But you have insinuated on multiple occasions that you've got the inside track.
knew things about the Discovery thing. I knew some things about a couple of things that he has said about him willing to come back, that he wants to come back, that it's all basically this next step. I've known about that stuff, and then there's some stuff that he hasn't said. And it's not necessarily about this that I'm aware of a little bit. That I'm surprised nobody's jumped on, because it was reported once and nobody has said anything about it. So I'm not going to say anything about it. But there's stuff going on. But the thing is like, it's not because Zach has ever cut off anything. Zach has never cut that off. He's literally bore his soul to anybody watching, saying, "Look, I want to do it. This is a passion project of mine." Like, that's what he has said to people that he knows. That's what he has said to other people now on streams, and literally made it clear that he actually wants to do this. And he's waiting to see maybe if the next regime comes in and says, "Hey, let's talk at least."
Sorry about my dogs.
That's all right.
That's how it starts. And so the thing is I've never said that this is like some for sure thing. I've said, listen, there are paths that are there. There are things that have been talked about. There are things that have been discussed of ways that it could happen. Right?
Yeah.
So for anybody to say it's dead and it's just gone, that's just not, that's opinion.
I stand by my opinion based upon my research.
It almost comes off as wishful thinking, like somebody just.
No, it's not. It's not wishful thinking. I repeatedly said.
Here's what I would add to it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's done.
Listen,
but I wouldn't be surprised if they said we're continuing either.
I believe that you're a supporter of the cause, whatever. I just think with this thing, like, it's getting to you for some reason, and like you're coming at this in weird ways. Like you're hearing the thing that he said, but then you're dismissing that don't support the other things. And I get why. Because you've worked in the industry, you've been there, seen a lot of things. No one can take that away from you, Matt. No one's trying to take that away from you. All I'm saying is that just like with the Snyder Cut, if this happens the way that it needs to happen, it's not going to be with that current regime. We're not going to hear anything in the next couple of months. We're not going to hear anything by fandom. I see people out there. Yes, I see the people who are out there. Well, they could announce at fandom that the Snyderverse is continuing. They're not going to do that. You're not even going to get the Ayer Cut announcement by then.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you should, but you won't. But
exactly. But Dawson and I talked about this on his stream yesterday. The thing about it is we're not going to get any of that until there's a clear path, until there's not going to be this back and forth about it, right? And so the thing is that there are people who are interested. Look, I don't put all this faith in The Rock that a lot of people put into it, because people are like, he's having talks and he's going to save it. Look, there's nothing that's come out that
Matt Jarbo made a video like that.
Okay,
I said he's the key to saving it, and I still stand by that.
He could be. He definitely could be. But there is no there's no actual news story from a reputable place that's not we got this covered or something crap like that. Okay, there's nobody saying that. So the thing is that he may very well, and I could see why he would want to support the Snyderverse because of Henry Cavill and because of other things. So he's got his own, angles that he wants to do. But the thing about it is, we all know that there are certain things that have to take place for this to happen. But we also know that there's a lot of things that are up in the air that make those things possible. So I just think it's inerrant to make a bunch of claims about it when nobody knows for sure, because a lot can change with this merger. What if the merger doesn't go through? There's always that possibility. Most likely it will, but there's always that possibility. And then if it does go through, it's almost one of those things of it's the devil we know versus the devil we don't know. And so, look, they're all CEOs. They're all, head of, major companies. And who knows where their heads are going to be on any given day. All I've said is the man wants to do it. The fans are not forcing him to do it or trying to force him to do it. They would like him to do it because they know that it means something to him as well. Plus, we love it, right? So there's a combination of that. It's not just the fans putting this massive amount of pressure on Zack Snyder to do it and he better finish it or else. Like, that's not it at all. People love Zack. They've been loving his other projects, so they're showing that their love for him is bigger than just Justice League and just the DC stuff. But we love what he's done with DC, so we're going to support him. And as long as he keeps that out there, that idea that it's possible, that he wants to do it, that there's possibilities with Discovery coming in. What he said, nobody. And people have asked him questions, but nobody has pushed those kind of answers out of him. And look, I get it. Like, you want to support people who've supported you, but the reality is if he knew for sure, hey, there's just no way this is going to happen. I am out. I don't want to do this. I appreciate it. He would make that announcement. He would say, look, guys, if it goes forward, it's not going to go forward with me. But I thank you for your support.
See, I disagree.
I'm listening to some weird sounds.
Well, don't assume you're not Zach either, though.
Well,
Matt. So don't assume things for the man. If he's
I'm not assuming. I'm just saying I disagree. Can I, like, that's the thing, Max. I can say I disagree. I don't need to step in and like try to explain it for me. The thing is,
I think even if they announced it ahead of the merger, then it still would be uncertain. Like if they said we're going to try to continue this thing, and then
we're not going to get anything right now. But you can see that they are the company. When I talk about this, I'm referring to predominantly like 95% of shit. I'm talking about the company. All right, they don't want it. It ain't about Zach. I do think that Zach would tell people what they want to hear because he's been doing that for a long time. All right, and I don't think he would give that up.
Anyone reading too much on either side is there's just anything that's been
Jarbo. That's why people are mad at me, because I won't just go into full conspiracy mode and get behind around a lot of these people. I've had a lot of people hating on me lately, sending me DMs telling me that I'm not a supporter because I didn't support this, or I didn't support that, or I didn't make a big deal about this or that, or that I didn't say anything about this thing that happened or whatever. And the thing is, because I'm trying to be a realist too, but I think that it goes both ways. I don't think that we should go too far on the edge of saying that it's not happening, and I don't think we should go too far on the edge saying like these are definite things they have plans. There's been talks now. Zach has signed a deal with Zaslav. I saw somebody say that the second they signed the deal that they were going to announce Justice League 2 and 3. That's ridiculous. That's not happening.
Well, that's what happens when you listen to the cultured nerd.
I think they're worried more about the merger than Snyderverse.
Exactly. They got to get through the merger. They'll get through the merger, and then they'll be talking. So all this stuff, like even if something happens, this is a while off, folks, before we see a continuation of this stuff and get half of what.
It's at least another couple years.
And then it might be too long. Who knows? I don't know.
People demanding that like they're not going to be happy. I will agree with this. It comes off very fandom menacy when like you listen to Doomcock say for something, for example, like he's not just happy with Kathleen Kennedy stepping down or them moving forward with good stories. He says that he won't be happy until the sequel trilogy is erased. Well, that's never going to happen. They're not going to erase the sequel trilogy. Okay. So he's going to have to get over that and just get over it.
Well, obviously. Look, I think
the same thing with the Snyder Cut and the Snyderverse and everything. So I think when we start like laying down stuff and being like, we're not going to be happy unless we get both Justice League 2 and 3 and the Ben Affleck, Batman film or series and whatever. And then they start like listing like all these other shows and things that they're demanding. Like, I don't think that that's the right approach either. I love them. I understand why they want what they want because I want it too. And I look at everything on that list and go, heck yeah, I want all of that. But the reality is I'm trying to look at it from a realistic standpoint, and those things, like there's a lot of things that are on that list of things that people, certain people say that they want or else, that if they ever happen, they're so far down the line and so far at the bottom of that list of things that have.
I'll see you, RJ.
I see it, but I didn't know he took off.
Oh, I am being realistic. I just don't see a point in I don't see the sureness in saying that it's just not going to happen, that it's dead, because it's not dead. There's something there. It's on hold. It's paused. Just like they said before, it's paused. It's not dead. So,
God, I hate it's so. Come on, man. Everything is a goalpost move.
Can we play this 40-second clip?
Fine. I saw you bring it up here.
It's only 40 seconds. I think this is recent. All right.
I know that people were mad, like, oh, it's spoilers, but in the end, it's not really spoilers. For two reasons. It's not spoilers. For one,
let's talk about the motion comic, I think.
If you didn't get it, there's a really good chance that's your best shot at ever seeing the sequel to Justice League. So enjoy it.
But he's laughing. He's not stressed out, Matt.
So like, if you're mad at it, you could like maybe don't look at it right away, but then after you watch the movie, you could read that and be like, okay, I've seen the sequel. But the truth is you haven't, because it's not really up to date with what Justice League became. So
Yeah.
But still pretty crazy. I know that people were mad, like, oh,
Okay,
so
that's it. Isn't he talking about the motion comic? People are upset.
Yeah, he's talking about the motion comic, but again, he's like, this is.
But he said that's your best chance.
That's
what
your-
he said.
there you
Right.
go.
But he's not. She's not stressed out about it though. He's smiling. So don't.
No, because like
assume
I'm just
feelings or that he's stressed or if he's happy. If I see him as stressed out in that one video as he's like they're not interested. Then he was stressed out. Don't get upset for him, Matt.
Well,
I'm not. No. What I've been trying to say is I'm talking about.
He's going to do what he's going to do.
God, Max. Like, let me talk, please.
All right, sorry, it is your
What
show.
I'm saying is that this is the company that is behind all this. The company is behind all this. Zach, sure. You ask him if he wants to do any franchise. He'll probably tell you, yeah. Go, hey, how do you feel about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987? Like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Would you ever want to adapt that? Oh, yeah. Yeah. He'd probably tell you that too. All right. Huh?
Well, let's hear from RJ while he's in.
No, I mean, it's fine. I've just been listening in. It's been an interesting conversation for sure. I mean, I don't know. That's the thing. I ultimately don't know at the end of the day. You know, so much is uncertain at this point.
I agree.
So you know what? Just let people enjoy what they enjoy. Celebrate with them if it happens. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And we all go on to Zach's next project. We go
Right.
on Rebel Moon.
And it's fun to speculate. As long as
I
you
mean, I
don't cross
will
the
say
line.
this. I will say this. Him doing
Like
Rebel
Matt
Moon in a
Charbo.
way signals to me that for the perceivable future, he doesn't think he's going to be doing a Justice League
Right.
2 or 3 right
Okay.
now.
That's fair.
But that doesn't mean that like 3 to 5 years it couldn't happen. Just right now, I think he's setting up for Netflix.
Exactly.
So
And then 3 to 5 years, it might be too long because they're older.
yeah, it might be too late. At
But
3
we
to 5
can't
years,
decide
I
that
don't know.
for them either because look at Harrison Ford. He
Well-
came back.
Well, can I put this out there to you as well? If number 2 is supposed to have to do with the nightmare sequence, that's years in the future of the movie that we saw.
Oh, that's a good video. Enosh, you should do a video on that.
So yeah, the older they get, it actually matches up with the actual timeline
Yeah,
of that, right? So, you know, if it is what it is, you know,
I like the way you're thinking, man.
this is what I've been telling everybody. Listen, if you like the Snyder Cut and you want to see more, then just simply make your voice known, right? You don't have to be a jerk about it. Don't be going on people's streams and yelling and screaming about it. Don't be, you know, boycotting stuff and all that stuff. I just don't think that that's the right thing to do. And I'm telling you that as somebody who's listened to Zack Snyder say again, don't do that, right? Ray Porter has said, don't do that. Ray Fisher, one of the biggest lightning bolts of this upcoming Flash movie, no pun intended, has said, don't do that, right? Wayne T. Carr, who was supposed to play Green Lantern, said, don't do that. Said specifically, look, we may not throw all of our cash at this movie to go see it like at the most expensive place on the most expensive night, you know, the night that it comes out or whatever. They said we may see it the next week as a matinee, right? You know, make our voice heard that way with our pocketbook. But if you're a DC fan, enjoy what it is and also wait to see what they do, because there's been rumors this week that that Muschietti may not even undo what the Snyder Cut was, that he may pay homage to it as existing in its own world in this movie. That was actually said. So, and then there, you know, and then the idea too is, like I said, with Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck's coming back to play Batman. Ben Affleck is not in a position where he has to do this movie. He only came back to play Batman for Zach. And then they got him in this movie as well. I don't think that Ben Affleck comes back with the relationship that he has with Zach just to crap all over Zach's work, especially after everyone fought so hard and everything for the Snyder Cut, and he knows that and everything. I don't think he's just going to do something that's just going to blatantly just destroy everything that has to do with Snyder. Things may be changed, but I remind everyone that's what was supposed to happen at the end of Zach's run. He wasn't trying to set up a 25-year, 50-year run, RJ, of
Right.
DC movies. Look, Warner Brothers might have wanted that, but he has publicly said over and over again that was never his intention. He had a 5-movie arc. Whatever else you get, if you get anything after that, Batman show, whatever, that's icing on the cake. But just don't be so hard about it. Just, if it comes out, enjoy it. If it doesn't come out, you know what? We all know that was an opportunity that was missed out. But know in your heart that it wasn't because Zack Snyder just gave up on it or because he didn't want to do it anymore. He loves these characters. He loves those actors, and he loves these fans who have meant so much to his life, the passing of his daughter, suicide prevention, all those things. So, you know what? He cares. And you know what? And I would say also to people, like, giving people a hard time about the motion comic, Zach supports it. Ray Porter is in it. Don't be harassing those people. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Like, I'm not into motion comics really. So, I mean, I'm probably going to look at it, but it may be a while because, like, I'm just not in, depending upon how it's offered, I may not jump on that right away because, honestly, I didn't like different story points that were in those. Like Zach was talking about, that wasn't the final, thing. There's story points in there that I didn't like Bruce and Lois being together after the events of Justice League, after Superman died. I don't get into that. I'm not excited about that.
I think a lot of fans are kind of against that.
I know. I don't damn Zack Snyder, but listen, it was literally in a writer's room where they were throwing it out and they had it on a whiteboard. Okay? Like, you guys need to understand, you know how many stupid ideas or like crazy ideas I've thrown out while like writing scripts or like writing skits or doing videos that I've done with other friends who make movies and stuff like that. And we're just sitting around stuff like, well, what if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? And you do that. He said himself that there were points that were in there. That's why he's okay with them doing the motion comic, because it's not necessarily his vision for what it was. And look, if Warner Brothers wants to be stupid, look, they did it
Good night, guys. Bye.
All right, see you later, man.
They did it 2 weeks ago. They did it to Zach a few weeks ago and tore down the Catwoman picture. And you know what? Somebody may very well try to strike this thing down. But just know that the people making it, they're trying to do a good thing. They're not trying to take away from anything. They're not trying to be anything. They're not trying to do anything negative. They're literally trying to. They set up a nonprofit to raise money for AFSP, and they got Ray Porter to agree to do that. And Ray Porter even tweeted that the only reason he did it was because he wanted to support the AFSP. So just let people like enjoy what they want to enjoy. I mean, like all these, and I'm not even saying that to you, Matt. I'm just saying that to people in general, because I see all these people like yelling and screaming, like trying to say, what is a Snyder fan? What's not a Snyder fan? You betrayed the fandom, with this person, that person. It's like, get over it. It's literally a fandom of people. Ain't nobody special because they accomplished something so huge because of the Snyder Cut, except for Zack Snyder. We all came in together. I had to tell a person who was giving me a hard time because of that picture. Remember that picture Mask of Shy did, Matt? That had gamers and stuff like that, right? You were on it. Me and Tiffany were on it. Pretty much everybody, all the YouTubers who were part of that, right? I had somebody say to me, and I love the person, but like they thought that I was saying that because I promoted that and I told people they should go buy that. I said, because look at all these people who are on that poster. It's really cool because there's a lot of people who stood up for the Snyder Cut. They talked about it. I mean, we've all broadcast about the Snyder Cut, ad nauseum sometimes, talking about every new thing that was coming out, keeping it out in the public, doing whatever. And I said, hey, these are, and I swear to God, people are so get their panties in a bunch over the word leader in this fandom, more so than I've ever seen anybody else in my life. But like I said, these are all part of these are all leaders in the community, not meaning that nobody else is a leader or nobody else meant anything. And somebody like thought that I was saying that only the YouTubers mean anything in that only the YouTubers count for anything. And I'm like, dude, that is the craziest thing, man, because I've never said that. We all came together as a fandom. But I mean, the YouTubers that, Zach went on different streams, Zach did different things to promote it, and people help use their platforms to keep it up in the public vernacular. It's not that they did anything more than the person who literally used the hashtag or bought a t-shirt or anything like that. It was a group effort, right? It just happens to be that there was a poster with a bunch of cool people that I know on it. And I was saying, hey, that's a good piece of art by some guy I know. Go support Mask of Shy. Where everybody's too worried about this thing. I mean, seriously, they're too worried about who's in charge, about who's doing what on any given Tuesday, about what Zack Snyder said, what he didn't say, twisting what he said. And then I've heard literally people say sometimes, well, I don't care what Zack said. Okay. Like they act like they know more about Zack Snyder's life than Zack Snyder. And it's just silly at this point, you know? So until I hear Zack Snyder say something, you know what, he may be leading us all on and just telling us what we want to hear and just trying to get us to, you know, I'm sure he's just trying to get us to buy that next thing on Netflix because
no, I don't think it's that. I think what he's trying to do.
Those people, I'm being facetious to all those people.
Yeah,
right?
no, I get you. But I look. Here's the thing:
I've been on streams in the last week where people try to tell me that Zack is some horrible person that doesn't get it and he's just trying to use fans. It's all BS. Like, that's not it. But like I said, even if it doesn't happen, even if he's just being nice to all of us in a grand format, you know what? I'll take it. And until the day that it doesn't happen, I'll still make it known that I want to see the Snyderverse. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's all. I ain't mad at nobody. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So, there you go.
What I was going to say was I think that when it comes to Zack's relationship with Warner Brothers is very tumultuous, sure. And he wants. I think he enjoys things that I think he enjoys being a thorn in their side.
Absolutely,
as he should, and so that's what I think a lot of it boils down to. I think a lot of it boils down to, you know, at this sort of thing, a lot of people are just kind of, you know, he'll keep the fans going, right, and he'll get them to fight his battles for him.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of that tactic because I find it to be a fair amount of emotional manipulation. But I also I understand it, but I also think that there are people out there that have dedicated their entire existence at this point to doing nothing but talking about that. And I think, and then the people that get worked up and they get emotional on it, those are the ones who then don't want him to move on. That's how I see it. And it's like, look, I understand he says he'll come back, but the logistics of it happening years away, if at all,
yep.
The studio is doing everything it can to say that it's no more. They don't even want to acknowledge it in many cases. We know that.
I agree.
So it's like, that's what I'm talking about.
I'll say this. I agree. And if I knew that Zack felt like he didn't want to go back, that it was too toxic for him or whatever, I would not be bringing it up and trying to like promote that, because I don't think that that's right. I don't think it's right to try to force something on somebody that they don't want to do, regardless if it's a director that I like in a movie or whatever. If they really feel that way about it and they've been hurt and they've been wrong and they're just ready to move on, let him move on. You know, that's how I feel.
Well, no, and that's good. That's good. But I mean, like, looking back at it, the last 5 years now, 4 years now, 4.5 years, it's been this constant thing for the last 4 years. He got his movie out a few months ago. It's a great film. I love it. And you know, I'm glad that it exists and I'm glad that we have it. But at the same, then you got to look at it from like, okay, this chapter is done. Like, maybe give some breathing room. Maybe back off a little bit, right? Army of the Dead came out. Good movie. You know, we got the stuff coming later on this year with Army of Thieves. And I think, when does the show come out? Is that next year?
Potentially. I'm not sure exactly though.
Yeah. And there's a lot there, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if Rebel Moon has Henry Cavill in it, because Cavill's working heavily with Netflix now.
Well, I think Ray Fisher will be cast in one of these Netflix shows. Project Zach's working on too.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that one. But I think, but at the end of right now, my take on it is like the people out there that are the most obsessive. It's mostly, my comments are mostly aimed at the most obsessive people. And I'm gonna, you know, I'm like, look, you guys, I see on Twitter every effing day that your lives revolve around this. And it's like, it's not only toxic in and of itself for what I feel these demands are, but it's the constant Warner's is racist, Warner's is sexist, Warner's is terrible, and the attack. And that's a lot of what I'm referring to. And that's not all. Okay. But there's a lot of accounts on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and IMDb and Instagram that do that shit. And I don't see anyone ever directly calling them the hell out. Not once. Because it's like, I think a lot of people in the fandom, they don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. I don't care. I'll do what I want. Because I look at it from the perspective of, if you want this shit done, going after Warner's is not how you get them to say, okay. Not in this fashion. You know? And you think like, and then there's even the joke with the whole merger situation of, oh, well, now, you know, whoever the Warner Brothers Discovery media manager is going to get inundated with nothing but restore the Snyderverse. And it's like, you're making that person's job way more difficult. For what purpose? To just like, you know, I even saw a thing today. It was this one guy whose entire life is about this. He's like, okay, guys, I think it was like August 6th or something.
Oh, August 5th. Yeah.
August 5th. I think that was like for the air cut, which is, I guess, a little
different. They're planning on trending it like all day on August 5th to like mobilize it and push for it.
It's like, cool. But doesn't that like right before Suicide Squad comes out?
I think it might be the exact same day. I'm not for sure.
How about chill the fuck out, wait a week? You know what I mean? Let Suicide Squad have its time. Don't hijack crap. That is not, we know you're not going to get it on that day. And all you're doing is taking air away from like promoting a new movie, which is what they care about. So why not support the new movie and also ask for the air cut? Why not try to be fucking positive? Why not try to be helpful? That's what I'm talking about. All I see people that are like readying their torches and their pitchforks, waiting to go to war. You know, every single time something comes up, it's just attack, attack, attack. But then always like, well, there's a new merger coming. There's a new company coming. We're already in a new company and they're already being attacked from things from the last company. So it's like, you know, there's a lot of people that are just kind of sitting around with idle thumbs. So like, that's a lot of what I see. That's like the shit that I'm talking about. Although you guys want to see something really funny?
What?
I was sent this tonight, right before going live. Somebody commented on a video of mine and they said, oh, we're doing Justice League 2, the fan film. Not kidding you. So I found their Instagram. And this is what they put up there. This is their plot line. This is supposedly a live action movie that they're working on. Yeah, right. After resurrecting Superman and defeating Steppenwolf, the League returns to their own lives to mend old wounds, while Bruce and Lois try to halt Lex Luthor and his Legion of Doom with the help of Darkseid and his Armada from planning an attack on the Justice League in pre-production. What? Have you guys heard anything about this?
No, I didn't hear anything about this actually.
Yeah, this person, they got 90 followers. They're one post from one day ago. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my, like, I don't know. I'm like, oh, because Warner's like, the thing is when it comes to fan films, right? Like I know Alec Peters from Axanar. We've talked about what happened with Axanar multiple times. So it's like Warner's is a bit more lovey-dovey with the fans on that one. Like they'll come in and they have questions and stuff. They'll reach out. But at the same time, it's like, you never know if they're ever going to come on in and just like shut it down just to be a jerk. That's the whole thing with this motion comic thing. That's what I'm waiting to see what happens. I want to see it. I saw the artwork today for the lanterns. It looked pretty cool. So.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, did you guys want to hear again? Like this is something else I found out today. So did you ever see this review for Loki?
No.
Oh, was it from Nerdrotic? Oh, no.
This is the IGN review. They gave it a 5.
Yes. I did hear about this. They fired the guy who did.
They didn't fire the guy. They didn't fire the guy. He's not fired. He still works there.
Wow.
They didn't fire him, but because of the negative backlash against it, they removed him from reviewing episodes of Loki.
Nice.
Like,
what did he say?
all he says here is like Loki's fourth entry jogs in place. The story grinds to a halt so it can retread and speed through character beats in the plot. Ironically, begins feeling as deterministic as the Timekeepers, leaving little room for tension or possibility, which RJ and I very much disagreed with.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't my favorite episode. Like,
I thought, yeah.
People who saw like a bunch of stuff in it, but it wasn't my. That was the one where they were on the planet, right?
Yeah.
When they first got there, right? And I know that there was like all these Easter eggs or whatever. Like, but as an episode, it didn't really do a lot for me. But look, Loki's my favorite MCU character. I've just realized this. Like, he's just my favorite, and I love what they do with him, and I've loved this show. I think the show has outshined all the other ones so far, and that's in my opinion. But whatever.
Well, yeah, no, I like the show's fantastic. RJ and I have been talking about it every week. Tomorrow night, I think we're doing a live stream to cover the finale. So I'll have to go to bed a little early. But yeah, so the guy who his name is Sidhant Al Adlaka. I'm totally butchering that.
Oh, jeez.
I butcher names. Sid. I can't. Anyway, he actually he reviewed the episode 5 on his Patreon.
I'm flipping, right?
Probably. But and then also over here, I've went and found the actual review from IGN, and they brought in this new guy, Simon Cardy, who is now the person who is writing the reviews for it. And Simon went from gave the episode 5 an 8 out of 10, whereas obviously the 5 from the week before definitely angered some people. And I'm just curious about that. Is that a situation where you think this is a company that is catering, craving to pressure? Right?
Yes, 100%.
Like, I'm fine with, like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I disagree with the review, but the guy can have his review,
Yeah, I disagree with the review, but the thing is that you assigned the guy to review the show, whether he likes it or not, that's his opinion. You hired him to write the reviews for the show, let him do his job.
Yeah.
Taking him off because there's backlash to his reviews, I think sets a dangerous precedent, and kind of just makes me go, okay, well, I guess IGN really has no value as a reviewer if they're going to take away anybody who's negative about something, even if I disagree with them.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that, and I've also thought that for a long time about IGN, especially after that whole controversy with the guy who copied somebody else's review.
Philip Mewson.
Yeah. And then he came back. I thought that was pretty. He's not coming back to IGN, but he came back to YouTube and stuff. Anyway, I thought that was pretty funny because I read about that, and no one's really talking about how they removed the guy, because I think it's worse to remove him. I'm glad they didn't fire him, but I think it's worse to remove him and replace him with someone who's more amenable. That is definitely indicative of some cancel culture happening up there in IGN. And you figure there should be massive controversy, but no one's really brought this up, which is kind of interesting.
Kind of flown to the wayside.
It is a little bit, yeah. I do need to get the super chats real quick because I've been getting yelled at in the chat, so I have seen that. I apologize. Rational Skeptic here says, "Why is Warner Brothers doing Elseworld movies? Just focus on the DCEU. Kevin Feige and Disney don't do Elseworld movies." Well, DC thinks that diversity in the world building is going to be their benefit.
Joker made $1 billion. That's why.
That also, and I think that they're gonna, they got lucky with Joker. I don't think Joker would have hit $1 billion if it wasn't for the controversy. I just don't. It's a good movie. I like the movie a lot, but I don't think it would have hit $1 billion without that controversy.
Did it make more money domestic or international?
Joker domestic box office. I think it did more international. It did $322 million domestically.
So the rest was international.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm wondering which country did really well in. So, but it did. The United Kingdom did 72 million, France 43 million, Germany 43 million, Italy 35 million, Spain 34, and then it just kept like kind of racking up. Like Mexico did 43 million, Japan did 46 million, South Korea 38 million. So you can just start seeing country by country breakdown of this and start to see like it all really, really, really adding up. But it's domestic total. I mean, we're talking like over four times. Was it almost a little under 5 times more domestically than their second highest. So it's like, it wasn't even a question about where the movie did well. But still, congrats to them for hitting $1 billion.
Yeah.
I like the movie. All right, let me just find the other ones here because they kind of. All right, Shiny 311 here says, "Hey Matt, how are you?" To Max, will you ever do a face reveal? I'm good. Max, I don't think I don't know when he'll do a face reveal. I do know that he kind of did one last weekend. I don't know if he knows about it yet, but he kind of did one last weekend in one of the photos that came out from the Amico thing. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I think he should do a face reveal.
Only do it when like he's like an old man. He's ready to retire. Go live out on the farm.
Old man Max. Is that what we're gonna call him now? It's like old man. Oh, I'm back.
Yeah.
All right.
Only if he gets paid.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, I do have to dip though. Thank you so much for having me on. I gotta do something real quick though. But
all right, man. I appreciate that. I'll see you later, RJ.
See.
Have a good one, buddy. All right. I saw. Stupid. Okay, there was one super chat that I wasn't able to get to because the chat on Streamlab reset. Rational Skeptics here says, take this with a grain of salt. Word is going around that Pattinson won't return for a second Batman film. He's contracted. Where's that coming from? Doomcock? It's got to be Doomcock.
Then it's got to be true.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for that one, Rational. I don't know. He'll come back. If the movie's successful, he'll come back. You don't sign up to do a Batman movie and only do one.
Unless you're Val Kilmer.
Well, I don't think that was his fault. I think that was the studio. And again, Warner's, we all know they screw up.
Oh, I know.
All right,
yeah. Because you said that, and then there's like literally two Batmen right next to each other that only did one film. That's all.
Yeah, no. I said they only. Well, I think with they were planning on doing another one with George Clooney, but that got canceled, didn't it?
Yeah, well, because the whole thing wasn't doing well, and
And then I know Darren Aronofsky spent like a year working on like Batman Year One.
Yep.
Before Warner's just like canceled that entire, and they spent a year on development. They spent a lot of money.
Yep.
On development, and then they just canceled it, and they brought in Chris Nolan, and they're like, "Hey man, you got 2 years, give us something." He's like, "Okay," and then we get Batman Begins, and it's a fantastic film.
Yep.
And so then also Thomas Carroll says, "Everyone love everybody." Fuck. Yeah. Well, I agree. Thank you very much on that one. Anyway, yeah, I just I want Zach to be happy. That's all.
Sure.
I want people to like let the man like explore other options and not like allow. I think give him the freedom. I think that's good. I think there are most fans are like, yeah, they're chill with it, but like there's the ones that I see are just like, it's just like nonstop.
Yeah.
Well,
those people need to chill. You know what I mean? Those people that like, if Zach says he's done, like there's always going to be those people who are just idiots, right? And like they're just like they're not going to accept anything. But look, if Zach says he's done, I think most of the fandom would go, you know what? We respect that. We're grateful for what we got. We're thankful, for the push and what happened. And now we're going to, follow him and what he does next. Right. And we'll move on. I don't know that necessarily, depending upon what happens with Warner Brothers, I don't know if those bridges are rebuilt and mended, where people just go back right away. You know what I mean? But I look, I'll be honest with you. I think even with that, if people are true DC fans, eventually something will break, something will happen, and they'll come around and like it. You know what I mean? Like, unless they're just so bent on they got to hate everything, which I'm not putting past anybody, but I'm just saying, like, I think the majority of people would let Zach do whatever he wants to do and are excited about Zach's other projects right now. They're excited about Rebel Moon. They're excited about, the other, Army of the Dead, adjacent properties. They're excited about what's the elephant one that everybody's talking about.
The elephant one,
a horse one, or something. There's like a horse one. There's something about horses that he's had in development for a long time.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's some like serious. I think it's like a drama of some kind, and like.
Okay, I mean, well, the thing is, like a lot of these guys, like they, he said like he wrote like 3 scripts during the pandemic.
Yeah.
and like one was for Warner Brothers, so you're not going to see it. But he was also, I think he signed. There's still like a deal, like a first look deal that they might have, and that could be, you know, like where he's at with it right now is like what Stone Quarry had signed with Warner's as part of a development deal. So he has to provide movies to make, and then they decide whether or not they want to make them. But even then, he's like, he said what he wrote a finale to the 300 franchise, but it was about Alexander the Great. You know, that might have been the elephant thing, and or whatever. But even then, it's like they turn that down. It's like, well, yeah, you went a little bit off kilter. You know, you know what Warner Brothers wants. Warner Brothers wants more Ava Green getting plowed over a war table. You know, like that was something people still talk about with that movie all these years later. I think that's a lot of it, though. It's like I think Zach wants to just kind of stick it to Warner's as much as he possibly can, and he seems happier at Netflix. And I say just let him. Like if it was me, if I could wave a magic wand, I would stop all conversation about Justice League 2 or 3 for like, or any of that stuff for like 3 years. You know, like just give him like the space to like not have to have that in his mind. That's my take on it, because I feel like that, not that that's going to hurt his creativity, but it's like, it's going to be something that's always there, you know, and at some point it's going to become not fun anymore.
I see what you're saying.
So there is that. Out of Print here asks, what's the word on Batman the Animated Series returning? Any scuttlebutt on that? Haven't heard if it's returning or not. I know that they've talked a bit about. There's a new Batman animated show coming to HBO Max,
and that one's supposed to be a continuation.
Is it the one with the weird ears?
Yep.
That look terrible. So, I mean, I'll watch it, obviously, but it's like, you know, we'll have to wait. It's kind of like, was it Batman, the Brave and the Bold?
Yeah.
With Diedrich Bader as Batman, but then he comes back as Batman and Harley Quinn, which is just funny.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Some of those shows, I know a lot of people really, really like them. They weren't my, you know, favorite thing. You know, there was the Batman that they did for a while. And to me, it's all about animation, right? So if the animation's quirky for me, a lot of times I just won't watch it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, what was I watching? I was watching Monsters at Work, and I noticed there's some, like, what I feel like there's some choppy frame rate issues with that show. And you can tell that it's definitely like, it's got the budget, but it's not Pixar budget, like current Pixar.
Sure.
But they also made it look like 2001. A little bit better, a little bit cleaner than the 2001 version. But the show is great. The writing is fantastic. The acting is great. And the jokes are on par. So I'm looking forward to watching not only Loki tomorrow night, but then also Monsters at Work. And, you know, but then what else was I watching? I was watching like Boss Baby 2. And there's even like some frame rate stuff I've noticed with that as well. So it's like some of these animations get a little bit wonky. And I don't know if they just kind of like cut the corners here and there.
Yeah. Well,
but,
you know, they try to do all this artsy stuff, right? You know, and that's great, you know, and like there's some people who really like weird styles like that. Like, and there's some weird styles like that I really do enjoy, you know, and that I really do like. You know, like a lot of the stuff, I don't know, like we got into this discussion over at the channel the other day about anime, about how I'm not really an anime guy. And I was saying for most of it, it's like, for most of it to me, because people will tell me like it's a great story, like Tiffany just finished Death Note, and she was like, oh yeah, it's really great, you know, the story's really great and everything, but it's like, for me, the animation, when animation is just not it for me, and a lot of anime just isn't it for me, and I respect everybody who loves it and I support that, but it's just not for me. And like also the way that the stories are told sometimes, where they're kind of choppy and kind of broken up, there's people who love that style. That's not my favorite style. So when it comes to stuff like, you know, Batman, you know, and Brave and the Bold, I watched a couple episodes because there were interesting characters in it, you know, that I was like, yeah, I'll watch that. But, you know, like I watched, I know this is going to sound like sacrilege to a lot of people, because I really did enjoy the animated series. And I watched it, you know, while it was happening when I was a kid, you know, for those first probably, how many seasons did it go? It was on forever.
The Batman animated series.
How many official seasons did that have?
Hold on. It had like what? No, Batman the animated series. 2 seasons.
What?
Yeah, I mean, well, according to this, it's. I mean, I look on Wikipedia here, but keep in mind, back then, the seasons ran very long.
Yeah. Okay.
So it ran from September 5th, 1992 to September 15th, 1995, with a total of 85 episodes.
Okay.
And the last final 15 episodes of the series was given the on-screen title of The Adventures of Batman and Robin.
Yep.
And then it was a
I probably watched. I mean, I watched at least half of that, right, while it was happening. So probably about 2 years of it. I mean, it sounded like it went for about 3 years. So I probably watched about maybe 2/3 of that. But like I didn't finish it. Like I never finished it. But it wasn't my favorite animation either. Like that blocky thing that they ended up using with Justice League. It's the one thing I love Justice League stories, and I think they did a great job with the writing. I hate that blocky look that they did for literally everybody, and the action figures are even worse. I've got Justice League action figures that can't even stand up on their own because their legs are so skinny. The plastic literally bends over to one side or forward, and so they can't even stand up. And you can even put them on stands, and they won't stand up because they're leaning so far over. It's great.
No, I've had toys like that. It's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of buying toys.
That animation where it's like their bodies are huge and blocky and their legs are super skinny and tiny. And so like I don't like the animation to it, but I enjoy it. Like that's not my favorite animation, especially for Superman. It's not my favorite animation for that. But you know what? I've got some toys from that. I bought the new McFarlane ones that were for Batman. And I bought both colors. They had the classic colors of gray and blue, and then they had black and gray, and I bought both of those. And then I bought the Superman that was from the animated series or from Justice League, the animated series. And I'm looking at a cabinet right now that has Superman from the Justice League animated series. So, but it's still a bad design. Even though I love the characters and I love the story, I don't like that design at all, as far as I'm concerned. But it's all right, but there's many things like that it's like people were asking me all about this Star Wars stuff,
Yeah.
And I still haven't seen it. The Star Wars Vision stuff, I still haven't seen it because everybody keeps telling me it's like anime stuff, and I'm scared that it's not gonna like excite me.
I mean, it looks kind of cool. RJ was all for it, but he's a weeb, so like. Hey, he'll admit. No, I like what it looks like. But see, my thing is like when I look at something like Star Wars Visions, I think back to Batman Gotham Knight and how like utterly like garbage that was.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see that one? That was the anthology one.
Which one?
Batman Gotham Knight. It came out the summer of 2008. It was like 8 or 9 short films, I think, or maybe 10 to 12 short films.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
All done with different anime creators, and it's like, why?
Yeah.
And they're like, but we just want we want it told through different perspectives. Like, I don't care. Like the Animatrix, it made sense to do that. With the Animatrix, it made sense because it was kind of uncharted territory in 2003. And then it's like, then they go off and they do it with Batman Gotham Knight a couple years later, and you're like, God, that was bad. And then they did it with Halo. They put out, I think it was like the summer of 2009. So like a year later, they put out Halo Legends. And I'm a big Halo fan. And I bought that thing Blu-ray, like sight unseen, day one for like full MSRP. And I finally watched it and I was like, oh my God, this is terrible. And I just like put it away and never watched it again. Like it was on Netflix once and I'm like, do I want to watch this? No. Because it was, again, it's all anime inspired master. I don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much amazing stuff you could do. Why? And it's like, is it just because it's trying to appeal to like the Eastern audience, because I know like anime and manga do pretty well here in the States. And I maybe, I don't know. I'm almost 40. I know you're over 40. Maybe we're just too old to get it. Maybe we just don't understand it.
Maybe, but you know what? My wife gets it. My wife's over 40. And she like I said, she just caught on to Death Note and watched the whole thing. And
Death Note's very mature. Like there's a difference though, like in the kind of anime. Like the Death Note anime, like the show is very, very heavy. It is like depressingly heavy. If you get into that show, like I got halfway through and I'm like, I think I'd rather slit my wrists than keep watching this. Like that is how like you know how some people like to argue that like Snyder's movies were like this, like Man of Steel and BVS were so dark and depressing and brooding.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, no, you can find glimmers of hope in there. You watch Death Note and it's like, no, I'd rather just like, you know, suffocate myself. At least then I'll have a happy ending.
Wow.
You know, it made me feel things. So then a couple years ago, 2017, the Death Note movie came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right. And like all the fans, they shredded it. They hated it. I watched it. I'm all like, yeah, this was fun. Because it's like nothing to do with it's not as bleak, dark, and like just depressing as the original stuff. But I can at least recognize that Death Note.
Live action movie?
The what?
Was that the live action movie?
Yeah, well, there's actually been a couple. So they did a live action. They did part 1, part 2 in Japan a number of years ago, and I did see part 1 actually, and it was actually really good. And I never saw part 2 because I saw part 1 like when it came out. And then they did I think it was like the was it Noah Centineo who was in that one? It doesn't matter, but like the Willem Dafoe voicing the ghost, whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the chat's yelling at me right now about that too. But anyway, and it's just one of those things where it's like the Adam Wingard 2017 live action film, I just thought like took the concept and just fucked with it, and I was okay with that. You know, and a lot of Death Note fans weren't. Ryuk, there we go. And it was Nat Wolf. I'm okay. Thank you very much, Eddie, for telling me that. Remember the Marvel anime home video movies? Oh God, those were. Did you ever see the anime Marvel films?
I don't think so.
I'll see if I can find
Wolverine.
No. Hulk versus Wolverine and Hulk versus Thor were legit. Those were very good.
Okay.
And the animation was okay. They did one. It was like a Punisher, Black Widow anime. It was It was Avengers Confidential, I think is what it was, right? It was like Avengers. Yeah. So this came out, Avengers Confidential. 2014 is when this thing came out, and it is. I can't even begin to like criticize how bad this thing looked, you know. And it was a straight to DVD movie. This is right.
Did we lose Matt?
No, I'm still here.
Is it just me in here? I think we just lost Matt.
Can you hear me?
Guys, welcome to the Poindexter Lounge takes over Hollywood After Dark. I'll hide behind my Poindexter Lounge symbol because it finally came inside. It started raining outside when I was in the hot tub. I put the cover back on. And I'm sitting.
I should be here.
There you
Can
are.
you hear me? Okay. It's not telling me it cut out, so I have no idea. But this is the animation on the Punisher and Avengers Confidential, Black Widow and Punisher. Total anime. And like I tried watching it and it was just like no. I tried. It was so bad. I can't get into that style of look, you know. It's like that old because I'm not big into that stuff. I know a lot of people are, and and you know what? I'm more power to you. But like when I was at Comic-Con and this woman,
Check. Oh, sorry.
Did I get cut off again?
No, I thought I did because my thing stopped moving. Everything stopped working. So
Okay.
I was just checking. Sorry.
Well, yeah. So it became like.
But I agree with you because like I took a lot of flack for not liking Batman Ninja, but I just thought it was so bad. I mean, just everything about it, I didn't like it. But the design was just like too much for me. I just couldn't do it.
I haven't seen that one yet. I know a lot of people kind of dug it, and some people didn't dig it, and I get that. I didn't have any like. it looked interesting. But it's like for me, like the Batman Gotham by Gaslight is like more up my alley of like the kind of, I prefer the Victorian era stuff rather than like the ninjas. And I like ninjas. Like I finally saw the Snake Eyes trailer in front of Black Widow last night. And it doesn't look like, I don't want to say it looks terrible. It looks fun, but it doesn't feel G.I. Joe to me. Not one bit.
No.
Like, I'm like, oh, there's the Baroness and, there's Samara Weaving is Scarlet. Okay. Like, I love Samara Weaving, so I'm down to see what happens with that. But it's like, all right. Like, so if there's a Baroness, where's Destro? And are we going to see Cobra Commander? Who's playing him? But why is Snake Eyes not have the helmet on?
And why is it a motorcycle helmet when he puts it on?
Yeah, I know.
But no, what I was going to say though is, like with the Batman Ninja stuff, and like I agree with you. Like that's like I have a Gotham by Gaslight Batman action figure, right? When that came away, because Mattel owned it. That was before McFarlane had them, and they did that one. Now they did a Build-A-Figure ensemble that if you buy, I think it was like 4 or 5 figures. If you got 4 or 5 figures, you could build the Batman Ninja. It's one of the few things that I literally traded in the second that I was able to build it. I got all the figures that you had to get to build the Batman Ninja figure, and I went right to my toy guy and I traded it in for credit so that I could get something else. Because as much as I like that Gotham by Gaslight Batman that's different, I just the Batman Ninja one looks so weird to me.
Yeah, I get that. I do. I've seen that's one of the weirdest thing with those toys too. When it's like Marvel does it, it's all like, buy this Thanos to get a leg to Captain America. Like, no, just sell me Captain America.
Well, that's incentive to buy all the toys in that particular run. So what they'll have is they'll have 5 figures maybe in that run. McFarlane's been good about it because McFarlane's done a lot where it's just like 4 figures instead of 5 or 6. Some of them have been 5 and 6 figures, like depending upon the size of the Build-A-Figure, where it's like you have to buy all those figures to be able to get the build piece to get the Build-A-Figure. And a lot of times they make the Build-A-Figure something that, hasn't been released before, or something like that. And so it's just a way to get you to buy all of the figures in that wave,
Yeah, no, I definitely, I understand that. I do get that. I just have so much trouble with like the toy hunting thing is not my jam. Like I was out delivering when you premiered your toy hunting one. So I watched, I think like most of it because I got home and my internet cut out on my phone and then I had to come in and my daughter was awake. So I got to the part where you're like showing off everything you got. So, no, it was entertaining.
We've got some other toy hunting ones on the channel that are more in depth. Like that one, we were just kind of like showing, what we were doing for the day. But like we've got some toy hunting videos in that playlist that like we're going into stores, we're doing a thing. A couple of years ago when they had Force Friday, I streamed for I think 10 hours. Something like that, 6 hours, 7 hours, whatever. And it was us literally going to every store that night. We never stopped. We had a few thousand people watching at once. And it was that stream. That was the first super chat I ever got was from a lady. I was in Walmart at the time and I was running down the hall because we'd get there and try to see what Star Wars stuff they had. And I think we hit up like 15 different stores all across like 4 counties or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I took 2 of my boys and my friend with me, and we live streamed the entire time in the car and everything. People were doing Star Wars trivia, and it was a blast. And I guess we were like the only channel. People were telling us that we were the only channel that was actually covering it.
Yeah, when they did the Force Friday 2019, they were doing like Mando, Rise of Skywalker, and Frozen 2.
Oh yeah, well and that was what happened with Walmart. There was a bunch of BS. They were doing Force Friday, and so Force Friday was supposed to be all the Star Wars toys for Rise of Skywalker were supposed to be coming out, and The Mandalorian, right? So this is in October, right before those came out, right? And so we're going place to place, whatever, and all the Walmarts. Thank God we've got these other stores here in the Midwest called Meijer, that they're basically kind of like a step up from a Walmart.
Is it Fred Meyer?
No, it's not Fred Meyer. No.
Okay, because we have Fred Meyer out here.
Yeah. I know you guys got Fred Meyer out there. No, this is just called Myers. It's Meijer.
Oh,
yeah. So it's spelled weird, but they're regional. I mean, they're all over the Midwest and stuff. And so, but the thing is basically it's a nicer Walmart. I mean, they still have grocery. They still have they have clothes, toy, and it's just probably just a step up. You know what I mean from what a Walmart is. Somebody probably say that they're the same, but so the thing is that all of the Walmarts sucked that night, dude, except for one. We went to one Walmart that actually had put out their stuff because the person running the toy department said, we got the Star Wars stuff. The Star Wars stuff was supposed to be out here at midnight, and they were supposed to have like a whole promotion that was going with it. Not one store that we went to did it. We went to several Walmarts. The only place that did it was this one Walmart that was like 25 miles away. They had their stuff out because everybody else got the Frozen stuff. And they were like, oh, we're going to put the Frozen stuff out first. So the Star Wars stuff, we're not going to worry about until later on Friday. It was supposed to be out at midnight. And like a lot of stores didn't put it out some didn't put it out till Saturday, Sunday, or a week later.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Up here, I was going to go and do video capture of it. I wasn't going to stream it or nothing, but the, where I live, it's kind of a smaller volume area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, I'll just head up to like Tacoma, which, I didn't want to go to Seattle. I was like, I'm not going to go to Seattle for this, but Tacoma should have something. And then I called around and they had like nothing, really. And like no displays, nothing really set up for it. And I'm like, and they weren't doing any kind of midnight launch or anything like that. And I'm like, so then I called down to Portland and asked around in Portland, and they're like, oh, we've already got our display up right now. And I'm like, it doesn't happen till like tomorrow. What are you guys doing? I'm like, but then again, I wasn't going to drive like 120 miles.
Yeah.
To one way down, to a Fred Meyer by my old apartment and try to like hunt this shit out. I'm like, all right. So I just kind of like, that's the problem with living in the low volume areas is you don't get a lot of stuff. Like even right now, like when it comes to movies, my Walmart is dead.
That was pretty much all over though with that film with Rise of Skywalker and Mandalorian season 1. They just dropped the ball on that as far as distribution and as far as like their deal with Walmart and everything that was supposed to happen. Walmart dropped the ball on it. No, Hasbro didn't force anything, and they didn't get product out to everybody. I mean, even the Meijer stores that we went to, they had product, but some of them hadn't even put it out yet at 3 and 4 in the morning, and I had to ask about it and get them to bring me out what they had. And most of it was like they had like one box of the Black Series figures. They had like maybe like one box of they didn't mind you, they didn't even have 3 3/4 figures for Rise of Skywalker, right? There were no regular size figures for it, for that movie. And so it was all like, they only had like one box of 6-inch figures. And then they would have like a bunch of cosplay stuff, for kids, like little kids, like a lightsaber or a gun or, an outfit or something like that. But it was bad. It was really cheap on that because the 2 years previous, dude, there was so much stuff everywhere. The aisles were just filled at midnight. Toys R Us was still around here. We went at midnight to Toys R Us and then hit a bunch of other things, but we didn't have to go very far at all. And we were home in a couple hours. Just and like they did, because they did Force Fridays for quite a while in a row. I mean, they started in 2015 with The Force Awakens, and then it just kind of grew from there every year. But then that 2019, man, it sucked, and then they didn't do it at all this last year, because they didn't have anything to do it for. So
yeah, that's kind of one of the weird things. I don't know what's going to happen with toys. Like toys are definitely your wheelhouse, not mine. But it's also like, even movies are kind of like that. Like we're getting a lot of 4Ks and things, but like stocking them is difficult,
Yeah.
And so it's like, I went to my local Walmart like just the other day and they have kind of it's a kind of a small movie section, but like there was nothing in the new section. Like it was just like empty shit. Like it wasn't like people were buying it. They just didn't have anything new.
I know. It's like they don't want to. It's like they're afraid of selling it or something. Like it's so weird. Like because when I hear like like Doomcock has done videos about it before, and there's other people like, who go on about Star Wars, like nobody wants Star Wars stuff. Well, that's not true, because man, I am fighting people all the time to just find some stuff sometimes, because where it really lies in is in distribution. And like they'll distribute, 1 million Rose Tico figures that nobody wants. I mean, like people, like collectors, they'll get it, but they don't need 5 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And kids, they're going to go, they're going to get their Rey, they're going to get their Luke, they're going to get, their Finn, their Poe. And then, oh yeah, there's that Rose Tico chick, like by the time they've already built their parents out of like $80 on the important characters that they want, they get to Rose Tico, and then they're like, yeah, I'll take a Rose Tico, whatever. And it might go on sale. But like the whole idea that like just because something's on clearance or something like that, that it's like a horrible franchise or something is stupid. Because right now I could take you to 4 different stores and there's Marvel toys, good Marvel toys that are all on clearance because they've got to turn product over. They got to make, room on the shelves. Some stuff sells better at some stores than others. And, but, I don't know. Toys are one of those things, like they're not really for kids anymore. It's mostly for adults, especially certain things like action figures and stuff like that. Cause that's just not what kids are playing with a lot of these days,
No, that's true. That's true. I get it. A lot of it is it's like when I go to a Comic-Con, and like, it's like, if you want to get in on the Funko stuff, you have to like get there early and it's the whole thing. And the thing is, like, they're not even buying it for themselves. They're just buying it to resell.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, and then even a lot of the collectors are there. Like a lot of the, they go and it's like, oh, I got the Comic-Con exclusive, I'm just going to sell it. It's like, I only own like one pop, like one specific Funko Pop. It's a Conan O'Brien pop from 2015 when he because he went to Comic-Con for 4 days. And he did 4 shows. And if you went, you got one specifically. So there was like different designs. I got the first one. And it's in a bin somewhere. And like some guy offered me like $250 for it right outside. And because I think like, because even now it was last time I checked, it was valued at like about 200 something. So and that was just for that one pop. So if you had all 4, it's going to go for a lot more. And I know people who always talk about the Beanie Baby craze and stuff like that, but it's like, like the only ones I want to get are like really Mandalorian ones, right? Like that's because I mean, like I've gone to their store in Everett and it's cool. It's really cool. Like there's the Star Wars room is great. Like it's a lot. I mean, the whole place is a lot of fun to go visit, but I haven't bought anything when I go because it's like nothing that really kind of like speaks to me on that level, Plus, I never have any money every time I go anyway.
Everybody keeps waiting for the Pops thing to, the Pops bubble to pop. No pun intended. But the thing is that what Funko has that's different than Beanie Babies ever thought of being are the licenses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Literally, there is literally a pop figure for everything. And the second that somebody sees one of their favorite characters or something in that cute little form, they love it, and that's how they've kept it fresh. It's not just a different color little, bag of rice. You know what I mean? Like I had a couple Beanie Babies, back in the 90s, the people gave to me. I used to, in my first band, I had one that I had right up on top of my amp that somebody had given me. And I just sat him right there on top of my amp. But the thing is like, yeah, a lot of people got burned on those things. But Pops is different because, like I said, they've got the license to movies, TV shows, sports, rock bands. I mean, it's everything now, But it's like I always tell people, if you get into collecting because you like the things you're collecting.
Yeah.
Don't get into collecting to make a bunch of money because one, you're not going to. And you know what? Just do it to have fun. Just do it because you enjoy those things around you. You enjoy looking at them. You enjoy having them in your house. And, and if you come across something that, I mean, you're going to be aware of the things that are worth more, but the thing is that, if you come across something and, you have an opportunity, great, but I always say even then, being fair with people, and not just trying to take advantage. I don't like the idea of these people who They don't go out and they actually get a business license and actually try to do it the right way. They think that, that their whole thing is going to be resale. And so they go out and then they buy everything. So nobody can actually buy something at a store. And they leave the stores looking like, post-apocalyptic wasteland. And then their whole thing is they'll say, well, then get up and buy them. And it's like, well, how about you not just buy them all,
Yeah. Well, I remember when I went to, what was it? When I went to, it was the day Fallout 4 came out back in 2015. I was in San Diego for a friend's wedding, and they had Jones Soda had done like a very special Nuka-Cola, like a little product, and I'm like, it was a very special thing at Target only, So my brother and I got up early in the morning before I had to go return my rental car, and we went down, and we went, and they were already sold out because I found out that Target had only gotten a 6-pack, just one 6-pack. And someone came in and bought the whole 6-pack. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, for one, Fallout, what are you doing? Like, Bethesda, what are you doing?
Right.
Like, and I went on eBay and I looked, and they're going for like a couple $100 because a lot of the stores were only, they were only getting a couple here, a couple there. And then I even found out too, like other Targets had employees that just told people that they were bought, and they just bought them themselves.
Yep.
And resold them. It's like, what is this nonsense?
Online, and that a figure is there in the building, and they'll tell you that it's not, and you'll see it sit there until a Friday when somebody gets paid or something, and then you'll see it disappear.
Yeah,
from the websites. Yeah, it's we all know what's going on. People want to say that we're just whiners. Those people who complain like in toy groups and stuff like that about scalpers and stuff, they'll call us whiners. They'll say that, that we're horrible people because they're just trying to make a living and all this stuff. And look, I get it. There's making a living, and I get it. And I don't begrudge anybody making a living, but to me, it feels like it's not genuine. When you're creating a false demand for something that should be simple for people to get, but it's like taking advantage of the lack of distribution, and then, taking advantage of people's things. And look, the best thing is for people not to spend that money.
Yeah.
If you really want to put a stop to it, don't buy it. It's hard to tell people that though, especially when it's something that you really, really want,
Well, look at the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox One. Those things are hard to find. And some kid, like 19-year-old, made some like program that allowed him to, like, more or less, as soon as the products went live, he bought them.
Yep.
And then he just resold it. And he made like over $1.5 million off of like scalping this stuff. And like, I don't know if that's legal. I'm pretty sure it is. But like, I know he's going to have to like claim a lot in taxes on that thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh my, like, maybe get I don't know what the laws are wherever he might live on that. But I mean, like, that screwed over a lot of people. It's like, I remember Tickle Me Elmo.
Yep.
Like, we all joke about like, oh, watch Jingle All the Way, and you see how parents react over trying to get that Turbo Man doll or toy. And it's like, Tickle Me Elmo was like that. And Furbies were like that for some period of time. Just when someone goes in and they buy up everything. And I had friends who did that too down in San Diego.
And see, those are specialized toys that came out during certain times. Imagine now if it's literally like every wave of a certain toy. Like, they released these G.I. Joe classified figures, and literally you cannot find them in the store at all. They don't get put out at all. None of the action, because they'll literally get 3 action figures, right, in this whole line, and it just keeps getting worse because, like, they just announced 4 new figures, right? 3 of those, Matt, were exclusives. So the only place you're going to get it is Target. And I've literally gone to Target at 8 a.m. right as it opens and watched a guy try to race me back to the toy section. I got back there to somebody to go back and look for something before I did. And then when the person brought me out because I was getting the Baroness on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And they brought it out to me. And like, this guy like almost tries to cut in front of me, almost tried to take the toy that this lady was looking for me for, right? And like she had to get in between me and him and just like, no, this is this gentleman's, he was here first. And that's the thing is people are getting angsty about this stuff. They're doing that. But imagine now it's not just like a specialty toy like a Tickle Me Elmo, right? But it's literally every G.I. Joe that comes out, they're just going to buy them all so that you cannot buy them.
Well, look at Target and Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah.
I mean, they stopped you can still buy them online, but like they stopped selling them in stores because of the secondary scalper market.
They're starting to do a little bit like that with toys, like even Target with like some certain action figures and stuff. Some I've seen some stores say that, you know, they can only buy so many of whatever. And I have seen that. It's just not across the board, and it's not necessarily enforced. And especially with like self-checkout, you know, like they haven't done a good job of like enforcing that and programming that, you know what I mean? So.
Well, yeah, I mean, can you really expect people who get paid minimum wage to give a crap?
No.
Like, no, they don't care. I mean, as sad as it is to say, that's just, you know, how it is. But it's,
yeah.
I think like, you know, that's the kind of thing where that hassle of getting all that stuff, like that bug hasn't got me. So like, I don't have that. Like, because all the years I've done Comic-Con, like I've only bought a couple things here and there, but it's like, it has to speak to me in the moment. You know, I've had friends go, hey, can you go to Funko and get me those exclusive pops? And I'm like, F you, pay me. Like, I love you, but you want me to get here at 5 o'clock in the morning. And like, when I don't leave until 2 o'clock in the morning and come back and wait in line just to get you these 3 things that you want, you're going to pay me for my time.
Yeah.
It's like, no way. Comic-Con is a 5-day period where I don't sleep. So like, no, I will definitely not be doing that. But that's the thing. It hasn't bitten me on that front. I know but I do like to buy, like, for me, it's like I like obscure movies, like DVDs or Blu-rays or whatever.
Yeah.
Especially ones that are kind of like, that are just like, I look for those at like conventions, the people that go and like, they're trying to sell their movie and they've got it on DVD and it's like maybe $5-10.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I may not watch it, but like, you know what? I'll support you trying to hustle.
Guy trying to sell his tapes.
Yeah, right. But it's like really funny. One time I went to it was the Rose City Comic-Con. And I love smaller cons because like you can get so much bootleg material. And you can't do that at Comic-Con anymore. They cracked down on it. But like when I first started going, you could get you could buy bootlegs. And then the smaller cons, they allow you that. And so I went to this one guy's booth and he had like Hamilton. You know, like, and this was before they did the Disney Plus thing, like years before. It's like 2016. And so like, you know, they had Hamilton and they had a bunch of other plays. And I was going to buy Hamilton for like $25 is what he wanted for it. And I'm like, wait a minute. This mofo is selling me this thing for $25. I guarantee you I could go online and find it for free. Because I guarantee you all they're doing is just getting a rip off of somebody's YouTube page or something.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, I go and I look it up and I find it on Vimeo.
Wow.
Same exact copy. I'm like, all right. And then like the guy had Avenue Q. Now I love Avenue Q.
I still have not. I would love to see Avenue Q. I've never seen.
You can find like, it's not the Broadway production. It's like a, you know, like a standard local theater production of it. You can find it in like full high definition on YouTube and it's good. It's good enough. I saw it at the San Diego Spreckles Theater in 2007. And you know, again, this was like not the original cast, but the people did an amazing job. And the play is amazing. It is like the people, I love the fact that the people who tortured parents with Let It Go are the same people that created the song The Internet Is for Porn. And so it's really the Agatha All Along, also Internet Is for Porn. Same people.
Nice.
So like they're fantastically talented and they've made a lot of really catchy things, good and bad. And but the thing is with Avenue Q is it's such an adult version of Sesame Street, you know, and like, but it's really, really, really well done. And I would just like, this is the thing I hate. Like, why Broadway? Because they all have high def recordings of all these things. Why don't they just like put it on home video. People will pick it up. They'll watch it. I know the argument. See, Disney is going to use the same argument for like Loki, Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Mando, all the other shows. And they're going to go, but if we put it on home video, you might buy it and then cancel your Disney Plus subscription. Like, that's a load of crap.
Yeah, if they keep putting out new stuff, why would they do that?
Yeah, it's like I have seasons 1 and 2 of Stranger Things on Blu-ray.
Yep.
And when I can I don't know if they put out season 3 yet. It's been 2 years. But it's like eventually Target gets it in like the oversized VHX box.
Yep.
And so that's what I'm waiting for, is to get my hands on that so I can, keep my collection going. And but it's like, I still have my Netflix. I have had a Netflix subscription since the end of 2007 when it was Netflix Instant. I'm not getting rid of my Netflix. I'm not there's no way I can get rid of Disney Plus because I have children.
Out back when they would allow you only 2 DVDs at a time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I would just rent them and then rip them and burn them and send them back. I had my friend and I had folders of DVDs that we would just rent and burn and send. I don't even think I watched most of them. I just collected them. Because that was the thing for me, is when it came to pirated movies, I like to collect pirated movies. I would never really watch 95% of them. It's just I have it just in case. It's a weird thing. I know it's a digital archiving. I mean, that's that would be the argument I would use in court.
Huh.
It's no, Your Honor, I wasn't hoarding these for personal profit. It's art, and art has to be protected. Really.
Okay,
so you have.
Sure, George Lucas.
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah.
Hey, man, it's 4 a.m. and I gotta.
Yeah, I gotta wrap this thing up too. And because I gotta get to bed here, it's gonna be a long day tomorrow.
Yep, for sure.
But all right, man. Well, thanks for coming on and good chat.
Absolutely. See you, everybody.
All right, we'll talk to you later, man. Have a good one. Thanks, Enosh. All right, here. So let us chat with you guys for a few. See what you guys are up to. John says here, I've got some money. I wanted to buy an X-Wing fighter. Walmart wanted about $50. I bought a $150 3D printer and printed out my crappy X-Wing, and I was happy. Sure, yeah, you spent 3 times the price, but hey, you know what? Memories. Sweet, sweet memories. All right. So here's the thing, because we're kind of winding things down, and I totally forgot to do this in the beginning, and my voice is almost gone. Do me a solid, everyone, because I will be moving the live streams over to the Hollywood After Dark YouTube channel, which is over here. Yeah, youtube.com/Hollywood After Dark. And then also, if you guys want to become a channel member, get your name on this list, help support the channel. Great way to do that right there. Link in the video description. And then also at the end of the month, I'm going to be sending someone, a lucky viewer, this Life magazine, 40 Years Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's a cool little magazine, all full of stuff right there. If you want to get in on that, become a channel member or drop a super chat, and someone will be selected. So I appreciate that. Let me go back to the chat here. Let's see. Geek Studio says here, it's hard to find a Batflex figure of the Snyder Cut in your area. Yeah, you might have to just order online, man. You might have to order online. Jess here says, it's not about the collector's market anymore. It's the scalper's market, and you're not wrong. John here says, Pokemon cards. My friend worked at a small comic book store, and the parents would buy the cards, and their kids obeyed and did chores. Well, yeah, I mean, dude, I remember back in the 90s when Pokemon cards were first on the scene, and it was a big thing. So, yeah, kids did chores mommy, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. And then, all right, go mow the lawn, you little bastard, and I'll go buy you some Pokemon cards. But see, I remember I was of the age of Pogs. The whole milk cap thing, right? That craze. The licensed Pogs and Slammers. I've still got my Beavis and Butthead Slammer around here somewhere. That's something I would like to die with, to be honest with you. Because I like Beavis and Butthead. Let's see here. All right. According to Jess here, it says, right now this weekend is war for the Legend of Zelda items. What's going on with Legend of Zelda items? I did see that GameStop had a Link to the Past Switch used for $18. And I honestly went to go buy it because hell yeah, it's still 60 normal or 40 normal or whatever. It's sold out, bastards. Butt Toucher here says, I woke up, but thanks for taking my mind off things, brother. I love your content. Thanks very much for being here. It's been an interesting conversation. Thanks for coming in, Butt Toucher. Okay. Oh, so it's new Joy-Con Skyward Sword remastered and the Amiibo. Oh, right. Yeah, I have no interest in Skyward Sword remastered. Like, I might just watch someone on YouTube do a playthrough. I never really cared for that game to begin with. I'm glad they're remastering it, but it's like, it wasn't my favorite Zelda by an absolute long shot. Oh, damn it. Did I delete that image? I probably deleted that image. Let me find it again. So, okay, real quick here, I guess to kind of wind things down, even though we have more people coming on in. Holy crap. Box office here. Black Widow debuted with a dazzling 80 million in theaters, and then also 60 million on Disney Plus, never mind an additional 71 million on international markets. And it really does kind of prove that there's Marvel loyalty. A lot of people were shocked by this. I'm actually not as shocked as you might think, because when you think about Marvel, when you think about how it all is linked together, you know, people are going to be loyal. And also, look, Loki being a big show right now, WandaVision being a big show earlier this year, Falcon and Winter Soldier, each show bringing in more people across the board. I mean, breaking records, although what records, who knows. And then you get the movie, and the movie is on Disney Plus, $30. You get to watch it as much as you want. People are going to check it out, you know? And like those people, I guarantee you there's a massive crossover of people who paid to go see it in theaters this weekend and then went to go watch it on Disney Plus by buying it there. They probably double dipped quite a bit. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Premier Access, only because it's like you buy it, but it's only valid as long as you have Disney Plus. But the movie's going to be on Disney Plus in like 2 months anyway, or like a month and a half. I don't know if they're doing the 45-day window. So it's like, why spend the $30? I mean, I spent the money last night to see it in theaters. I could go and, you know, wait and get the physical copy in like a few months, you know, maybe 3-4 months, get the physical copy, definitely before the end of the year, and then have that forever without needing an internet connection and needing a $7 a month membership or $8 a month membership. So it's one of those odd situations where you're kind of like, you know, but again, this is going to end up being the norm as we go forward. This is going to end up being the norm. Let's see. Andrew Dunbar here says, I still can't believe there's an actual game associated with Pogs. Oh, dude, it was absolutely freaking, it was like a controlled substance in my middle school. You know, they were like, the kids are gambling. We never gambled with Pogs. Like, we just, you know, you never, like, I know gambling was a big part of it where you could kind of bet 10 Pogs or whatever, but we would always just keep our Pogs separate. You know, you go, okay, let's do a 10v10 sort of thing here. Right. So you slam it down. The goal is to flip them all over. Whoever does it first wins. I mean, it's very simple, very straightforward. We never gambled them away, but the teachers were like, slammers. They're going to hurt the children. You guys might gamble. Might just, you know, it wasn't that big of a deal, but you know, the administrators, they didn't ever have their fingers on the pulse of anything. All right, geeks. Yeah. I'll see you tomorrow night, man. We're doing 8 PM. I know that, right? 8 PM. Yeah, we'll do that. Good to see you guys there. I have a Darkwing Pog. Nice, dude. Nice. Let's see. Watch it for free on those websites we shall not speak of. The thing is, man, like those guys, those companies, they know that happens all the time. Shadow. They know that happens all the time. It's one of those situations where I think they even put it out there themselves. You know, here's the thing. I'll tell you guys about this one, this cool movie, and then I gotta go to the bathroom and go to bed. But let's see. I wonder if the website's still there. Oh, please. I would hope the website's still there. It may not be. Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Here it is. Come on, work. Yes. Okay, so this is something I have thought about replicating to some extent. The idea is solid and it could totally work. Also, real quick here, I did see you say this earlier, Pikachu. I didn't want you to think that I forgot. Saying here, I want Zack Snyder to make a Cyberpunk 2077 movie. I'd be okay with that. Chicks with dicks, best of both worlds, but it would happen. So anyway, there's a website called, there was a movie, I should say, came out in 2011 called The Tunnel. Now, The Tunnel it's a point of view found footage Australian horror film. All right. And it's free to watch. You can watch this at thetunnelmovie.net. Now, this is the thing. Let's see if I could zoom in on this here, give you guys a bit more. All right. So The Tunnel, and I should do a audio commentary on this because the story is fascinating. In 2011, The Tunnel was first released to the world in cinemas, on cable television, and via an iPad app, on DVD, and via BitTorrent, all at the same time. Yep, it was given away to watch and share for free online, making it probably one of the only films in history to be able to legitimately claim a piracy rate of 0. How and why did this happen? Well, it's the brainchild of Enzo Tedeschi and Julian Harvey during the infancy of Kickstarter and Indiegogo. The pair set out to build their own version of crowdfunding with a website that pre-sold each frame of an unmade movie for $1. The promise they made in exchange was that everyone's contribution would not only buy them their frame memorabilia and their chance to see the film, but buy the internet the opportunity to see the film. In addition to sending out personalized individual digital frames from the film to backers, the film was officially released for free on BitTorrent alongside all the traditional releases. The end result was an explosion of viewership around the globe for the humble Australian film, amassing over 25 million views and downloads across the internet. It's been estimated that the global audience size roughly equivalent to $250 million. A decade on, the film is still a fan favorite, regularly making the top 10 found footage horror lists and inviting speculation and debate around the film's mythology. This was a fun movie. This was a very, very fun movie. They sold this movie one frame at a time. For free. It was going to come out, and they're not lying. It went to BitTorrent. It absolutely went to BitTorrent. But here's the thing. The popularity surrounding this film leading up to its release prompted Paramount Home Video to step in and buy the rights to the home video release of the film while still honoring its original agreement to release the film online for free. So when the movie came out, I torrented it like a lot of other people. I watched it. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but it was enjoyable. I don't know if it was worth the 140,000 they raised or whatever. Like, I could probably shoot the same exact movie for like $50 in a Jawbreaker. Anyone who's seen In Search Of knows I know how to do like low budget shit. But I've thought about kind of doing it the same thing. I've thought about going back and like and kind of like reoffering the same thing. $1, one frame. Buy your way into this movie, crowdfund it, go from there. Because people want to see films. People want to have access to movies, and I think people are willing to pay. But it's, and the thing is, the stuff I want to do is point of view found footage, low budget stuff like that. And I think there's a market there for people who want to see it. And it could, again, Hollywood is all about tentpole and box office and what's going to do well, blah, 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 blah. But they're also ignoring so many interesting films that come out, so many interesting things that are going to be made or not going to be made because people, there's no money for it. But what if this is a situation where filmmakers could start going to their audiences and going like, look, $1, like I know Kickstarter and crowdfunding, all that stuff is a thing, but like it's the idea there of actually giving it away to everybody else. It's maybe you want to call it like the socialism of movies. That's definitely not an accurate take on it, but it's an interesting concept. And it's one that they tried and it was successful a decade ago, but why haven't they done it again? Why haven't more people picked up on it? This is something that sat in the back of my mind now for a decade, and it's very fascinating. So, and that's something to check out. You guys can watch it. The Tunnel is the tunnelmovie.net. And feel free to give it a check out. It's free. You can download the whole movie and you can watch the whole thing. So it's definitely something we're doing. But anyway, on that note, I think I'm gonna end it because my voice is officially starting to go. If you guys haven't already, do me a solid, toss a like on the video if you guys want. I would appreciate that quite a bit. Be sure to hit that subscribe if you guys are new. Hit the bell. Get in on the action. For when I do more of these streams, I'll be back on tomorrow night. Probably not as long of a stream tonight. It was all over the place. And we'll go from there. But real quick here to answer Eddie's question. That's probably it. Sorry, my voice is starting to go. Is that what inspired Paranormal Activity? No. Paranormal Activity came out in 2009. I think it was shot in like 2006 or 2007. So no, it came out after Paranormal Activity. So it might have been inspired by Paranormal Activity, but it definitely came out after. So anyway, thank you very much for your continued support and checking out the channel and the live streams. I appreciate everybody, whether or not we agree. That's always kind of here or there, but you guys are amazing. You are amazing. So I don't want you to forget that I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great night, and